All right, let's start it out with a patron message. Why don't you handle this, Lurch?
Absolutely. So this is from patron Joe Cornwell of Matthews, North Dakota. He says, North Carolina. And he says, Ryan, thanks for what you're doing. I appreciate a place to go to get some good information. I do have a question. I installed an ACUS on my 2020 Street Glide to get CarPlay. So he's talking about that little jumper that you can put on there.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Fool the boombox to think that there's a headset. It works on my bike speakers, but how do I get sound into my helmet? I don't mind buying the Harley branded Senna 50S, but will that work? And here's our response. The jumper only allows you to use CarPlay through your speakers. It tricks the system into thinking the wireless headset interface module, or the WIM, is attached. You will need an actual WIM to get headset functionality. And then we provide him a link to our installation of the WIM and remind him that he'll need to have a dealer flash the bike after install.
Yep. There you go, full video on the WIM install. And that's one of the things we've talked about in the past with those little jumpers. They're kind of a hack. Really, one of the greatest things about CarPlay, that's why I say we tried one for you guys, because so many guys were interested, and I get it. Money talks at the end of the day. The WIMs are rather expensive. But a hack is a hack. And the beautiful part about CarPlay, we've always said, is one of the biggest things about it is the ability to use voice commands and respond to text messages. Really all one of those jumpers does is brings the mirror up on the screen for CarPlay, and then obviously you can flip through stuff. But for full functionality, I always suggest if you can swing it, just get the WIM and do it that way. But we did want to test those modules, and he responded to it or messaged us. You get access really quickly if you're a patron member. Of course, we have our regular contact form, lawabidingbiker.com/contact, where the general public can hit us. Of course, patrons can get us there, but we give priority to our paying patron members that support us financially, support what we're doing, trying to help as many bikers as we can worldwide. And in the back end, you'll get a patron app. You can get it on your phone. Once you're a member, you can do it online, but there's a messaging back in there where we can have conversations with you, and you can ask questions direct there. And when we see that pop up in our email, we respond. Those get first high priority, again, because those are our beloved patron members. All right, so we all know dude wipes. We've promoted those, wet wipes. You got to have them absolutely on your trips. We take them all the time. They've got the individual packs. You can throw some in your saddlebag, whatever. Wet wipes. That's right. All right, so we added these, and that's at lawabidingbiker.com/fresh-butt. That's /fresh-butt.
And I am loaded up on them because I thought I used my last one the other day, and I was in a bit of a panic. And got on Amazon right away to order them. They were at my house the next day. And when they showed up, my wife says, "Why did you order more of these? We already have some." I said, "No, we don't." And she says, "Yes, we do." And she promptly took me into the utility room and showed me where they were.
Yep.
So now I've got like 12 packs.
Nice,
I'm
bro.
set for a while.
Nice, bro.
Yeah.
Nice. We have to bring some over to the studio.
Yeah.
All right. So that's right. After you take a dump, I guarantee your butt will smell like a breath of fresh air. Now, before we go drop a bomb, that's right. Before we go drop a bomb, there's that's after. Dude after. Wipes are after. You got to clean up. You got to smell fresh. You got to fight the stank. How am I trying to say this? You're fighting stank, shit. All right. So before you drop a bomb,
you're taking the initiative to make sure that there's no odor.
Exactly. Use the Dude Bomb spray, guys. We have tried and tested this. We've added this. When you use the almighty Dude Bomb spray, you can literally walk around like your poop don't stink. That's right. No more embarrassment when you walk out after you take a big grinder at a restaurant or something, dude. You walk out, and especially one of those single bathrooms, bro, where it's like not male and female, it's just anybody.
Oh,
and you walk out, dude.
Unisex ones.
And there's a hot
all the rage
chick right there, bro.
Oh, no.
And you're like, or Starbucks, bro.
There you go.
I've done it. And you walk out, dude, and there's a hot chick there. Or if you're a girl, you take a big grinder. Girls do grind. So I'm told. Is it a fact?
Sorry, I was looking at something else.
Or it could be a girl walking out.
Yeah.
Do girls poop?
Oh,
I try not. I pretend that they don't.
I believe that what I've been told is that angels come down from heaven with satin pillow sacks and carry their farts and their turds away. So I don't know.
Nice. Might be true.
Maybe.
But I have walked in a bathroom after some chicks, and it's
They can do it.
nasty.
They can stink it up.
All right. So I'm not sure that's true, but I like to believe that. Anyways, you walk out, there's a hot chick there in my case, and you're embarrassed because you're like, oh my God. And then you're just like, I'm not even going to eat the rest of my food. I'm out of here. Well, you don't have to worry about it, because if you have your Dude Bomb spray, you can literally spray it before you sit. Let it rip and enjoy your deuce. You can walk out, and that young lady that's going to walk in after, it's going to smell so good. She's probably going to come contact you after. She'll immediately be attracted to you, even though you just took a shit. Just saying, Lurch, let it rip. Enjoy your deuce. All right. There you go, guys. lawabidingbiker.com/dude-bombs. lawabidingbiker.com/dude-bombs. And the wet wipes are fresh-butt. No additional cost to you, but if you use those links, we do get a small commission if you click through and actually make a purchase. And at always our Amazon store, we're adding more products over there, including tools and all kinds of stuff for you guys. Dude wipes, personal stuff like this. It's building. It just takes time. We're very busy. But anyways, you can get that anytime, lawabidingbiker.com/Amazon influencer. /Amazon influencer, right, Lurch?
Yep.
And that's our store and products we recommend. And Dude Wipes, the sprays over there, some whiskey glass. We got all kinds of stuff. We just add when we can. But obviously, if you guys use that over there, we do get a commission if you click through and make a purchase on any of that stuff. Want to ride longer? Tired of a sore and achy ass? Then fix it with a high-quality butt buffer seat cushion. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Check out our full line of butt buffer seat cushions. Oh, yeah, once you've used Rick Rack, you'll never go back. The ultimate motorcycle luggage rack solution. Forget those messy straps and bungee cords, Lurch. You can go strapless, because I know you like to go strapless, with a Rick Rack quick-attach luggage system and quality bag. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Get hooked up now. Hey, Bikeaholics, 03D has a wide variety of innovative products for your Harley-Davidson and a brand new line for the all-new Honda Gold Wings named Gold Strike.
I like gold.
I was waiting for it. Top quality, affordable chrome lighting and cover products. Sierra Gold Strike are the motorcycle LED lighting innovators for CAN bus plug-and-play system compatibility. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Check out our full line of 03D products. Lurch.
Yeah.
Let's do this thing.
It's about time. Oh, let's talk about poop.
We are busy here at Law Abiding Biker Media.
Busier than a one-legged man in an ass-kicking competition.
Yeah, buddy. Welcome back, you freaking bikeaholics. This is the podcast for the motorcycle majority, the Big MM, also known as the
99%.
Large and in charge of the motorcycle scene more than any time in history. By being here, by listening, you're part of what we call the hashtag
Biker Revolution.
I do have just one question before we get started for the audience, Lurch. What are they waiting for?
Mount up and let us take you on another wild-ass ride.
Get your ass, throw your leg over. Let's go. Let's go, bikeaholics. Welcome, Ryan Erlacher here, your host of the Law Abiding Biker Podcast and your
high-tech redneck.
So we got an episode for you. In the interest of time, we're just going to dive in here shortly. But the main topic is I'm fresh, like at the time of this recording. I'm fresh off the back of a trip. It's the that I went down to Monterey, California. Harley flew me down there, hooked me up with some 2023 CVO pre-production models. I was on a non-disclosure agreement leading up to that trip. I did go down there. I tested those bikes. I also went while I was down there. After we tested the bikes, the next 2 days, we were at King of the Baggers down at Laguna Seca. Got to see that in person. Of course, documented that. I am still, technically speaking, at the time of this recording, on an NDA until tomorrow. But by the time you guys hear this, I will be off that. So we're going to talk about everything now that I can talk about with these new CVOs and really give you guys a deep dive into what these 2023 CVOs are all about, this massive overhaul of the touring platform that Harley's made. As we dig in here, you're going to find out quickly what that's about. But anyways, that's going to be the topic of today, and we've got a lot of information to throw at you. I will be dropping a video. In fact, the day of recording this podcast tomorrow, which will be a Thursday, 10 a.m. Central, so 8 Pacific. I've got the video ready to drop right at 8 a.m. So by the time you hear this podcast, you may have seen the video, and I share it with everybody. Check it out. Hopefully it's very, very informational for you guys on what's going on. But we're going to dive in deeper, and I'm actually going to mention quite a few things, as long form content like a podcast gives me the ability to not try to make it so quick, and I can actually dive into some things that would have made the video too long, but that you'll be guys will be interesting in. And I got to pull up Evernote, so Lurch, so why don't you handle this new free video? You got it on your screen, or?
I can here in just a second. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. New free video. So this is the best motorcycle first aid kit to carry. And Ryan goes through the first aid kit. We took a lot of time to put together a kit that has all you need, but not more than you need. It's got the life-saving stuff. It's got tourniquets, compression badges. It's got simple Band-Aids, everything you need to take care of yourself while you're out on the road. And it's funny that this is in this podcast, because I was actually just looking up our most recent order. We got another 100 of them coming tomorrow. So we're well stocked up on those things. We've priced them very affordably. And it's one of those things that it's a must-have for your bike. You should have one on every bike. And so head on over to the show notes in this episode, and you click on the link, and it'll take you right through to that first aid kit. Highly recommended, tested and approved by the law-abiding biker crew.
Yeah, buddy. So there we go. I got my notes up here because that'll be our main notes we're working off. Now, we love our sponsors up front, our paying sponsors and all that. These folks are also paying. We consider them paying sponsors. And the reason we're coming to you after 10 years, OGs in this space, OGs on YouTube, OGs. I mean, we were doing this for so many others have come and gone. We've seen them come.
Old guy? Old guys?
Exactly. It may. We've seen so many others come and go, flash in the pans, so to speak, and not many, very few have been around. In fact, some of the other channels, we've even been around longer than them. And this is the reason. This is one of the main reasons that we can continue to serve the biker community. We want to thank some of our newest patron members. I'll start out with Paul Sprague of Bothell, Washington, right here in Washington State with us, Keith Taylor of Rolette, Texas, and Weed Rebry of Wasilla, Alaska.
Thomas Branch of Fort Myers, Florida, Justin Martin of Townsend, California, and Ryan O'Brien of Ludington, Michigan.
Lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon, Patreon. That's right, pledge a certain amount per piece of content. No risk to you because you can put a monthly cap. There are many benefits, such as t-shirts and stickers. You get access to the private Facebook group, which is a troll-free zone, nothing but bikers helping and connecting with other bikers in there. You get podcasts early like this. You'll get it months before everybody else in the back end of your Patreon accounts. You get access to live video broadcasts and chat. Of course, premium videos up on request for you top-tier patrons, and access to those ride, meetup, and events. Continuing to blow it up with patrons. We thank you so much, so very much, especially during these, inflation times and everything, that you guys are continuing to support us per piece of content that we put out. Thank you so much. It gives Lurch and I a very good idea of what we can do financially, basically how we can help you best with and put out the best content for you guys based on your financial support. So we just couldn't do it without you. So thank you very much. All right. So we're going to just dive in to our main topic here, and I'll pull up my notes. So I'll start this out, Lurch, and then jump in. Or Lurch didn't go. It was just me, flew down. And like I said, I'm right off the back of that trip. So there's a lot to talk about when it comes to the CVOs. So let me figure out where we want to start here. Is this even the right notes?
I don't know. That looks like
it's not even the right notes.
That looks like the notes from the earlier release.
I'm looking for the 2023. Nope. I'm looking for the. Why is it not CVOs?
CVO
specs. Let me see if it'll do specs.
Is that it? No. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. There you go. Very, very exciting. The audience gets to listen to us.
Well, I was hoping you would just cut this out.
No, I'm going to leave it in there.
Okay, all right. I was just doing a blank spot because you could cut it out and move right into it.
No, I'm leaving it in.
All right, so...
Producing on the fly.
Yep. All right, so... So I get down, I do want to say that there was one other YouTube down there with me. Just two of us got invited down to Monterey, which was pretty cool. Again, we're on this NDA, and so it was Blockhead. If you haven't seen his channel, a lot of you probably watch me and him. but does some really good videos and quite a bit different than our channel, which is why the space is so diverse as far as motorcycle going. You can get what you need and kind of how you like it. We do it totally different, but we've been to a few events together. We've become really good friends, and we get to hang out for 4 days together. Basically, it's just me and him and at Laguna Seca and King of the Baggers, and so yeah, we've been to enough events now that we've definitely become very comfortable and become friends. And he's a great guy, and we have a lot of fun joking around together when we're trying to get all this stuff shot. Now, a lot of people, I do want to say up front, yes, it's very cool. I do want to thank Harley-Davidson for sending me down there, and they've sent me to places in the past. I will say up front that if you think this is like a whining and dining type experience for me, it's not. And this is the stuff I can give you guys on the podcast behind the scenes. And interestingly, I saw Brad Johnston, patron member, Matt Haywood, his wife, and some others down at King of the Baggers.
Yeah, and you met a brand new patron. He signed up after maybe hanging with Matt or meeting you.
He signed up just before.
Okay, yeah. Drake Long.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I saw him down there. And so those guys saw me because I got down there Thursday late, Friday, very little sleep, all day testing the CVOs and filming and trying to capture, a one-man show. It's a ridiculously head spinning.
It's a whirlwind.
It's a whirlwind.
Yeah.
But those guys saw me walking through King of the Baggers the day after, and they're like, they were honest. They're like, dude,
you look
tired. And even day 2, they saw me again. They're like, holy cow, dude. I go, yeah, these events, I'm blessed that I get to do this. But it's a different day and age, and it's a lot of work. Like every day, I did the CVOs the first day, and now I got to film King of the Baggers every night. When we get back, I'm tired. I've got film gear everywhere. I've got footage on cards. I've got cameras, and then I get it all backed up on 2 hard drives. Then I'm till 11:30, 12 at night. I'm editing, trying to get this video edited for the CVOs because it's got to drop. I only have a couple day turnaround.
Yeah.
So I can't just get home and try to get it done. I get home and I got other responsibilities. And so it's a whirlwind. You're up early. And it's a different day and age. Back in the day, I will say this, back in the day, you had, larger organizations when they controlled the space, like motorcycle magazines, right? Moto journalists, which aren't nearly hold the weight they do. YouTubers get a lot more views than the motorcycle magazines these days for the most part, but not to talk bad about them, but the moto journalist days are dwindling, and they used to be able to take time and have a crew, and because it was only some of them, and they were just allotted that time. That's how it used to be done. Well, Harley-Davidson and many other large companies have gotten used to or expectation that it's one YouTuber and they're going to come down and it's going to be a one-man show, one-man production. It's going to be fast. It's going to be furious. You get a day with the bikes, and I'm very appreciative. So I don't want to, this is kind of a little bit of behind the scenes that I think people appreciate. I would rather like to do it differently. I'm very blessed with the opportunity. I won't turn it down. But when you do videos to the production level that I do, I'm not, and it's fine. It's fine. I'm not, everybody runs around with different types of equipment. There's different quality levels of videos, but I actually like the aesthetics, and I think that's why people come to my channel. But with all the film gear and big cameras and lenses and drones and things that I do, it is a whirlwind. I have gotten better at it. I would much rather be able to take Lurch down.
So I can be your Sherpa and pack around your gear.
Well, and film, he helps with so much. But yes, that would be nice too, to be my Sherpa. But that's just, and we are going in a couple days. We only have 2 days here at home, and then I'm flying back out. They're sending me down to Milwaukee for the 120th. That's a big event. And I just bought tickets for Lurch to fly him down there because I need a second hand with gear and cameras and, it's so much easier to have a second camera production guy. It takes a lot of stress off me, so I can actually breathe a little bit and actually enjoy the event a little bit. But again, so yes, Harley, take you to dinner and stuff. We get to hang with the reps and they put us up in a hotel and stuff like that. But by far, it's a job, it's work, but I'm very, very blessed. I wouldn't turn them down. I'm very blessed for the opportunities that are given to me. I just wish I could take a Lurch every time because it's so helpful to me as a YouTuber to have a second person helping me with everything so that I can get the video to the quality that I want it for my production level.
I can attest to how down and dirty and quick these trips are and how much work they are because, I remember the first one we talked about. I think it's when you went down to test the Nightster and the sports dress. And
that's when I learned.
You're like, sorry, man, they're only flying one person, And I told you, don't worry about it. I'm fine. You don't have to worry about me. I'm not going to feel bad about it. The truth is I was kind of relieved because it is a lot of work. Mm-hmm. I was able just to stay back here and kind of keep the show running, but it is down and dirty, fast, not a lot of sleep. You're traveling.
You went to the Pan America with me in Sturgis.
Yeah, that one.
And you realize how much effort I put into that stuff. We were fucking beat.
And it was hot.
We camera gear everywhere. We're up late at night making notes. What have we covered? What haven't we covered? What angles? What shots do we need tomorrow? That's where you come in as so valuable to me, But so anyways, I don't want to. That's a little bit behind the scenes. So yes, I'm blessed. They do send me down there, but I certainly, and I think most of that it's a job. I don't just get. It would be awesome if they just fly me down, ride the bikes, and then I just come home and I don't have to do anything. No, don't even have to report on them. You know what I mean? Go to dinner. Chill out by the pool. That would be great. That's not the way it works. They're obviously sending me down there. There are expectations. That I'm going to put a video out on my channel. Although that's never said. They don't say what you have to do. But that's the industry expectation. Sure. Is they're taking you down. They want to get their information out there. They want you to get it in front of your audience. So, with that said, if you guys aren't following us on Instagram, even if you're not on Instagram right now, it's fine. We're on Facebook. We're going to be there. We know a lot of our audience for whatever is on Facebook. I hate Facebook. I'm on it. And we have our group there. I like our group on Facebook. Everything else about Facebook it's the worst social media platform in the world to me. But and I know Meta owns Instagram. It's fine. But Instagram is just a lot cleaner. So if you want to see, we do a lot of stuff. You'll see it first. If you get Instagram, you don't have to even be on there much. Just follow us at Law Abiding Biker. We really want to get the numbers up over there. We're about at 10,000. And I know our audience is so freaking large. If you look at YouTube, it's just our audience just isn't on Instagram. So if you get a chance, check it out because I'm popping a lot of things that are there only and there first. So when I was down in Monterey, I was popping stuff down there, little videos behind the scenes. It's a really clean platform if you're not on Instagram. It's very video and picture oriented. There's not all the frickin' people. Yeah, all right, I'm going to stop there. I'll go off. It's very clean. It's very quick. It's very neat. And you get the information you need over there. So please, if you haven't, you'll see a lot of cool stuff over there. At Law Abiding Biker, give us a follow over on Instagram. And we are on TikTok too, if you're a TikTok person. But by far, Instagram is my favorite place to post and curate stuff because we're a very visual platform. Aside from this podcast, we're a very visual platform with pictures and videos, and you can see where I'm at when I'm doing it. You would have already saw before this podcast over the last 5 days, you would have saw lots of little video clips, 15-second video clips of the new CVO Road Glide, the new CVO Street Glide, King of the Baggers stuff. You would have saw everything I was doing right then and there. So it's a good way to follow, and we appreciate you guys if you can just get over there and give us a follow. All right. With that said, that's a little history. So I'm just kind of going to go by the notes here. So let me say this, and then we'll get into some of my ride as we go through this podcast, get into my opinions. That's the stuff I couldn't share on the NDA is my opinions of the bike and the rideability and things like that. So a lot of guys, Lurch, we've seen online and even the recent posts that I've done, a lot of guys are saying, oh my God, and they're just uneducated. Oh my God, it looks like an Indian. All right. And I educate them nicely. I just want to let you guys know, first up, I love Indians. They're fine. They're great bikes. I've ridden them. I've done some videos and some tests on them. I want to do more, but their marketing department right now is not very organized. So we plan on bringing more Indian content, but it is fact. It is non-disputable, period. In 1969, Harley-Davidson offered the original Batwing fairing as factory equipment. The Road Glide Shark Nose was introduced in 1980 and has seen 3 variations over the past 30 years. All right. So, and 2014 Rushmores, obviously we know the Road Glide skipped 14 and then it came out in 15, but it featured the new step change on the Street Glide, styling step change on the Street Glide. So that's indisputable. So it's after that Indian puts out both a Batwing and then eventually a Shark Nose fairing. So you tell me who's copying who. Indian had nothing to do. They literally copied Harley-Davidson. And that's okay. That's how the industry goes. I mean, Android copies iPhone. This is normal, right? It's you take the big wigs and the leader in the industry at that time, and you're going to try to make something similar to take sales from them. This is just how every business goes. I mean, heck, right here, we have people copy my YouTube style. We've seen a lot of that. That's okay. You're going to look at who's successful in any business, and you're going to try to emulate to a certain extent. So that's indisputable. So let's get that. Now, so any guy that says that, or you see those comments, guys, let people know 1969 Harley-Davidson actually offered the original Batwing, and they made the first Shark Nose. So you can't really say, I would more say Indian looks like Harley. So, but I just don't think a lot of people obviously know that.
I don't think so.
They don't know the history.
Right.
And they just think that, yeah, Harley somehow wants to look like Indians. Trust me, they don't, because Harley outsells the bejesus out of Indian. Indian isn't even close to what Harley sales are. So I don't think Harley is going after Indian.
Bringing back the bejesus. I like it.
The bejesus, yeah.
That was just a few episodes ago.
That's true. That's true. We got to throw it in every now and then.
Yeah.
And we did define bejesus too.
Yes, we did. Go back and listen a few episodes ago. You probably already heard it.
Yeah. Anything on the fairings, Lurch?
No. Unless you want to, are you going to get into the shape and all that?
Well, let's just do that, because we're going to jump around wherever we want. Yeah. I'm trying to loosely follow these, but yeah, let's talk about the fairings.
Yeah, I was really curious about what you thought of them. When you see the Batwing, you get a really good idea of it. They're definitely a little more, I don't know if you want to call them edgy or a little more abrupt. They definitely changed the lines of them a little bit. But when you look at the Batwing fairing, it definitely looks like the Batwing fairing of the past, just a newer design. But the Road Glide, there were some photos that were leaked early on that were not real flattering, and it was most likely the camera angle and maybe it was a fisheye or something, but it totally distorted the way that front end looked on it, and people were calling it like a beluga whale or something like that.
It did look like one.
I thought, oh my God, they ruined it. So
I knew that couldn't be true the way that angle. I said that right up, didn't I? I was like that. There's no way Harley would design something that looks like that at that angle with a fisheye. I go, that's somebody sneaking a photo with a shitty camera, or purposely trying to make it look bad to get followers and clicks.
And I'm a Road Glide guy just because of my height and my arm length. The Batwing fairing feels a little cramped to me as compared to the Shark Nose. I'm able to put taller bars on and rock them a little farther forward, and the bike feels a lot bigger, even though they're the same bike minus the front fairing. But I was really curious what your thought would be of it. Because it does look quite different. The way the headlight is different, and it wraps around the sides. The turn signals are integrated into the headlight assembly, and so it is quite different. I'm really curious what you think it looks like as compared to, say, my 15 or the newer Road Glides.
Yeah. So good stuff. So I do want to say, while we're talking about that, looking at the front of that bike, I did like that on the Road Glide. They didn't get rid of the 2 headlight look. Yeah. It's 1 headlight, but it's 2 elements. So it still looks like important. 2 headlights. I do too. Aesthetically, I'll say this before I answer that question.
Okay.
Harley, having spent time with these bikes, I really appreciate the fact that Harley pushed the envelope. They have to push, they have to innovate, they have to change, or they will die, as Indian will. Any company will die if they're not willing to change. But they also were very careful, eloquent in not still making it look like a Harley. It was that had to take a lot of work to push the envelope like that, but still make it look very Harley. Now, so that headlight wraps around that shark nose. Also, there's like outer lights, and it creates, when you look at it, you'll see in my video, a W.
Yeah.
So it creates a W, which is really cool.
It's accent LED lights. A lot of newer vehicles are coming with some type of a brow or an eyebrow, kind of thing on the light.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Very cool, because at night or even during the day, you can tell behind you or coming at you that it's a Road Glide now. Additionally, like you say, the signals, integrated signals, come out to the sides. They're recessed into the fairing a little bit. And those are your amber LEDs and white running. Kind of your headlight, so to speak. So a lot of redesign. Obviously, I will tell you this, it's weird because I always love to capture things on video and pictures in a way that represents them so people can experience what I was experiencing when I'm with them. The new Road Glide is the most difficult thing to film that fairing. I got some great angles. Mm-hmm. And even some people saw my picture and go, well, that looks great. I was standing next to it.
Yeah.
And you can get some really shitty angles on that thing. And I was running around with my camera, and I'm putting it in my video. I'm giving the different angles. But if you get low and up underneath it, you can really see how the top lip comes over. Mm-hmm. And it looks funky. But you don't look at the bike at that angle. You look at it from standing up. And when you stand up and you get a side profile or an angle front side profile, it looks amazing. This is all I can tell you guys. It's the one thing that I had difficult representing to you guys. I've never had that problem before. This one, it does. But I got some great angles, some side profiles, some front. I will tell you this. Your question was, how does it stack up to yours? Now, I've spent... Aesthetically. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I can honestly tell you guys this, and I'm honest. At the end of this, I'm going to give you guys some cons. I am always honest regardless. Harley flies me down there, but they never tell me what I can and can't say, and I do get nitpicky, and you guys know I've been very critical of Harley in the past, and I'm not afraid to do that if I need to. But I will say that having spent so much time editing this now and being with the bike, I look at yours and it looks very boring to me.
Well, screw you, sir.
I know. It's weird. I'm
actually toggle.
It's weird.
I've got a design like mine up, and I've got the CVO up, and I'm clicking back and forth between the two of them.
Yeah.
And they're very similar. They've changed the lines a little bit to make it more aerodynamic, but the biggest change is that headlight. That's a huge change. Like I said, you can now see from the side. You see the headlight from the side. You see the turn signals from the side. And that's what's really making it different. But I can see I see what you're saying. Yeah, the old one kind of does look boring and not as modern.
Yeah.
You and I have talked about this in the past. Anytime companies make a change, people freak out, especially Harleys. And they're like, oh, they ruined it. It's a piece of shit. Well, people are going to get used to this new design over time. And it's going to be the norm. It just, change, as humans, we don't always take change that well. And you mentioned earlier that, as a company, they have to keep evolving or else they're going to die. Just looking at it now and getting good representations of it, I dig it. I look forward to seeing one in person.
Check out the videos. I popped 2 15-second videos and then a 3-minute video on both the Street Glide and the Road Glide. Check out Instagram, guys, at Law Abiding Biker. It gives very good representations of those bikes in a very quick format. So you can kind of see what we're looking at. But all I can say, I have no doubt, even the naysayers that don't like it, and once they see it in person, they're going to completely change their mind. I didn't think it would grow on me as quickly as it did because I had my reservations and it's different and it's new.
Yep.
I didn't immediately dismiss it. I said, I need to go down and see this in person. And it was good that Harley took me down there because that's why you need people in person to relate this stuff. I bet in a lickety split in a matter of 6 months, everybody will want the new fairing. There'll be a few old, you just have some of the old Harley community, fuck, Harley needs to keep making what they're making. Fuck change. You know, you do. Okay, you're always going to get those guys. Whatever.
There's good quality used bikes out for those kind of guys.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's going to be loads of those.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you guys, I have no doubt that within a year you'll see the old shark nose and you'll be like, those are so boring. I don't. You know, that's just my opinion.
Yeah, it's kind of like the ones the 2013s compared to 2015s.
Yes.
You know, I was not a Road Glide fan of the older ones. 13 and older. I probably would have bought another Batwing bike and just put some ape hangers on it. But when that 15 came out, I was all about it. So I think I'll continue to be all about it. And hopefully in the near future, because my bike's about 8 or 9 years old, hopefully I'll get a 24 or 25 if they move some of this technology down to the specials, which we'll talk about.
Yep. All right. So with the fairing, we'll wrap that up. I want to say that, yes, it aesthetically looks different. And the Batwing, I just love the Batwing.
Yeah, it looks good.
As soon as it came out, I didn't even need to go down there to see it. I was like, that's badass. I want it. It's very beautiful the way that they set it up. Different windshields, very small, like
more of a windscreen.
Yeah. Both of them, you'll have to see the video. I'll be curious to see. Obviously, we sell F4 Customs and Clockworks in the Law Abiding Biker store. As soon as they make windshields for these bikes, we'll be carrying them. So make sure you check. I will be curious to see what aftermarket. That's the one thing. Both bikes, I would want something different.
Yeah, they don't look like they could.
It's just like it's just like the regular Street Glides. You know, you buy it and they got that 1-inch windshield.
These actually look worse. These look like windscreens, not even windshields.
Interesting,
on both of them.
Lurch. Interestingly, I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah. Did it push
they
more
work
air?
really fucking well.
Huh, okay.
And that's that's a good segue into what I was going to say. Aesthetically, these look different, but I will tell you that everything they did on that, including that windscreen, Lurch, is they did on the 14s. They put that new vent, right, to reduce head buffeting.
Right.
Computational, what is it? See, I'll have to get my notes.
Yeah, you got it.
It's in there, but I don't know exactly where it is. They used I'll get to it later, but
it was right there actually. If you pull it back up, you'll see it right there at computational fluid dynamics.
CFD.
Yeah.
They use that, and it's basically in a nutshell, it's a digital image of how fluid goes around an object. And then they also did wind tunnel testing. Everything about this wasn't just aesthetics. They wanted to reduce the rider triangle pocket there. They wanted to reduce buffeting and wind. Did it by 50%.
No shit. That's interesting because it doesn't look like it would.
I know. It's just the way that they shape that fairing to both of them to kick wind off you.
The vents are different.
Additionally,
this is interesting. Okay, so just speaking of the Road Glide in particular, my Road Glide has vents on each side of the headlight. This does not, but the vent under the windshield that pulls the air through and up, up over your helmet is larger,
and it's adjustable.
Yeah. Yes, it is. That's right.
Yeah, so basically you can adjust that vent depending on your height, where you want the wind, and you just adjust it, and I was just messing with it until head buffeting stopped. It's very simple to adjust. And then additionally, down at the side of the fairing on the RG is the Road Glide is 2 adjustable wind deflectors.
Okay.
And you can let air in. I was messing with it. It was very windy at one point. We rode along the ocean, the west coast there, and wind was massive ocean side wind. And I literally was getting massive wind on my shins. I just adjusted those little vents a little bit until I had no wind. It's all about how the air is colliding with each other and up and around and over you. 50% they reduced it. And I say it's true.
Interesting.
After having ridden, it's amazing.
Yeah, I look forward to trying it then because just looking at it, you wouldn't think that windscreen would be able to push the air up over, but now that I'm looking at the vent and I'm looking at it from the rider cockpit, I see that adjustable little handle so you can push the wind up over you. I look forward to riding and trying it out. Now on my 2015 Road Glide Special, there are deflectors down at the bottom of the fairing, but they're small and they are permanently mounted. These are larger and adjustable.
Yes. Yep. So I'll be curious to see if people put windshields on them or not, because the way it sits is very, very good. I feel like I'd put a windshield, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It just depends it depends. So we'll see in time, but 50%, guys, the rider triangle that they did on that bike, we'll talk more about that. Absolutely amazing. Let's do this real quick, and we got so much more to throw at you.
Hey, bikeaholics, searching for new and exciting motorcycle products? Zero3D has the products you dream about for your bike. Check out their wide variety of innovative products for Harley-Davidson and Honda Goldwing motorcycles. Zero3D's got your back with chrome and black parts, lighting, and other comfort products. No modifying, cutting, grinding, or welding for an easy installation. That equals less time installing and more time riding. Zero3D has a design team of riders with over 40 years of experience with a passion for design and innovation. Zero and Goldstrike are the motorcycle LED lighting innovators for CAN bus plug-and-play system compatibility. They pride themselves on great customer service. Got a question? Get in touch with them via email at sales@zero3d.com or give them a call at 715-808-0027. Check out your local Harley or Honda dealership and ask for Zero or Gold Strike parts. A new leader has emerged, so check out Zero3D's custom line of Gold Strike products for the all-new Honda Goldwings. Better yet, help support us and head on over to lawabidingbiker.com/store and check out our full line of Zero3D products.
There you go, guys. All right, we got so much more information to throw at you here. Get back into my notes here. All right, so that's pretty much the fairings. That was a big topic, and I know a lot of people wanted to know about. But so let's just move over to tank design. The fuel tank retains 6 gallons, so we're good there. It's got the from the side, it's kind of that iconic teardrop gesture. From above, the tank still possesses that classic hourglass taper. So on the top of the tank, it's not completely rounded.
I see that. Yeah,
it's kind of got an angle. New look, and I just liked it a lot. I wasn't, there's not a lot to talk about there other than it's a little bit different design, but it looks beautiful. Kind of helps with the lines of that bike. So saddlebags, so when you look at them from the outside, everything was about lines on this bike, and the saddlebags match up with the tank. When you see a side profile in my video, you'll know what I'm talking about. But the saddlebags basically are kind of curved on the outside. They round, they start from the rear. If you're looking at it from the rear and going to the front, and they kind of bulge out just a little bit and then curve back in. It's a really modern look without looking like other manufacturer rounded bags that I'm not a huge fan of. You know what I'm saying? So they kept it very Harley, and then they chopped it in the back a little bit. They put a little angle right at the rear tip of the exhaust pipe. It goes down, it's flat, but then it angles and then under. So it's like just a chop. Like if you took a skill saw and just chopped it a little bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like a slash cut.
Slash cut, there you go.
It's cutting back towards the front of the bike instead of coming just straight down.
So my slash cut Vance and Hines mufflers that we sell in our store would look
they would
badass.
Look really good with this, yeah.
So front fender and wheels, we're just going to keep moving along because we got so much in Stop Me Anywhere, Lurch. Okay. The front fender is trimmed at the rear. It's a very low profile fender. It has less skirt depth, and so it cuts the visual mass at the front. And it really does. So it basically displays more of the wheel and the inverted. So let's see.
Good looking front fender.
Isn't it though?
It's similar to what a lot of guys will do with the older bikes, is get rid of the stock fender, put something like this on a little more, a little cleaner, shows a little bit more of the wheel. Yeah.
Yep, like lowrider S's and stuff. Low profile front fenders, we'll say.
Sure. Sculpted to the wheel.
Yes, exactly. So new combo cast laced wheels, 19-inch front, 18-inch rear. So I like them a lot. Especially looking at them up close. You're all going to be happy. They finally put they have, I think past CVOs they have, but I hope it's standard, but it's the 90-degree valve stems, making it very easy. They were also, even with laced wheels, they were able to keep TPMS, tire pressure management system enabled. So that's pretty cool. So that's kind of the front and the wheel, the wheels, everything they did on this bike for the most part is amazing to me when you look at it up close. But colors, the new CVO Street Glide, the 2 paint finish choices. Base is dark platinum with bright smoked satin pinstriping. That was on the Road Glide. And then the optional $6,000, you can add Whiskey Neat Raven Metallic 2-tones. That was on the Street Glide we were with. I've got both those colors in my video, so check that out. Check Instagram. They're both on there. All right. So beautiful colors. My favorite, Whiskey Neat.
I like my Whiskey Neat as well.
Yes, I know. Exactly. Exactly.
Maybe an ice cube now and again.
Yeah. So it's a very cool color. It's beautiful in person. I hope it translates on video. It changes colors when the sun comes out. It's one of those paint. We had it in the clouds, and then when the sun popped, it really even changed completely the way it looked. You got to see it up close. Look at it. It's absolutely some sparkle in there. Absolutely amazing job. Interestingly, this is stuff I don't say on the videos. I was talking to the Hardy rep that was with me, and he said it takes him, for the Whiskey Neat paint job, it takes him 10 hours to paint one bike. 10 hours goes into custom painting one of those bikes. So it's well done. All right, this is one of the big things. This bike has so many changes. It's completely new. This is one of them. So not only did they come out with a new bike and all these different changes, but it's powered now by a new Milwaukee-Eight variable valve timing, VVT 121. It basically delivers. So this new motor, we're going to get into some of the specs of it, delivers 8% more torque and 9.5% more horsepower than the previous Milwaukee-Eight 117, which does not have VVT either. So it's equipped with a number of new features. It's got optimized liquid cool cylinder heads with a new cooling system. I want to talk about that real quick. So basically, it does have a radiator. It does have a fan. It does have a thermostat. Everything we're used to with radiators. Really, they're cooling the heads, and they're putting the water right around the exhaust valves. And so they you're going to find out they put a lot of effort into reducing heat on the rider. This is just one of those, and it's also those vents they put the fan below, so all the heat bumps out away from the rider, especially at lower speeds. It is a noticeable difference, guys, in the amount of heat. It was only 65 when we were riding, but we were stopped a lot. I didn't feel the heat on my legs like I do with my Police Milwaukee-Eight or even my Twin Cam 103. All right. It's amazing. I do very much like, this is what I appreciate about Harley, is aesthetically, they knew we're going liquid cool. Let's just all get used to it. We're going liquid cooled. Hardy's been doing it, starting to introduce it on full touring for years. It is the future. It's better for the engines. It's better for performance. It's better for the rider experience and less heat. I love my big air-cooled V-twins too. But here's what I'll say. Harley's been very careful in how they've implemented this. You'll see other manufacturers slap a big-ass square radiator on the front. All right?
Yep.
I mean, and it's aesthetically, it's horrid. Hardy was very careful. They put it down low. It's got a little curved chin to it behind the rear wheel. The oil cooler's there. I believe it's still, that's one thing. I think it still has an oil cooler on top of that. I think it's dual, but
looking at the picture, it looks like it. I see two different radiators there.
Yep. So it's dual cooled. Still got the oil cooler, but aesthetically they did it very nice. It's hard to tell. Well done to the engineers.
It flows with the bike really well. It looks like a small chin spoiler. We've gotten used to the oil cooler being down there now, so it's a little addition to that, but it's not big and gaudy like some of the metric bikes in particular. They just put a huge radiator on the front that sticks out, and it's like the only thing you see.
Yep. It's like, we need to water cool this bike. Honda makes a really small radiator. Grab that fucker and throw it on the front of this bike. Like that's what the engineers do. It's like, come on, people, what are you doing?
This is well done.
Yeah, it is. And you guys, the benefits of liquid cooled, whether you like it or not, it's amazing. It's amazing. I'm not against it if they keep doing it in such a classy way. The benefits you get from it are awesome. So huge variable valve timing. Now we saw variable valve timing on the Rev Max motors, like in the Pan America, the Nightster, but this is the first time Harley's putting variable valve timing in the big V-twin. Basically, variable valve timing, guys, it's going to broaden if you don't know what that is, I'm not going to get super detailed about it, but it's basically going to broaden your overall power band, and it's going to improve torque management and efficiency. If you've never ridden a VVT bike, it's so smooth. Your power band, all I can say is it's so smooth. This motor, when you ride it, you'll know right away, you're like, okay, this is different. This is super smooth. You're going to get a wider, it broadens, like I said, it broadens the overall power band. You're going to need a wider power band. You know how the other ones, it's very, you get there and it's there. Like 3,500, 4,000, like on our 103s. This thing, it's wider. And so you're going to get a wider range of power within a RPM range. And it was amazing. I love VVT. I'm so glad. I was waiting for him to introduce it into I didn't know it was going to be on this bike, but yeah.
Well, we going back to the Rev Max motor. Geez, my brain locked up there for a second. We were saying, I hope they bring some of that technology to the touring lineup. And how are they going to do that? And we were told by Harley, we're staying with the big V twins. We're not putting the Rev Maxes in there. So this is an interesting combination of the two. You got your big V twin, but then you got a lot of the improvements of the Rev Max. And with the VVT, you're going to get better fuel economy and performance, like you mentioned, but also emissions. And let's be honest, EPA has been up Harley's ass, and some of the other manufacturers, they've got to make their bikes more efficient to be able to keep making them. So I like the fact that there's going to be a lot of benefits of the VVT, but still it's going to retain that V-twin, look and sound. So I well done, Harley, I think, on that.
Yeah.
My opinion.
No, it's good info. That's actually good thoughts. I agree with you in every aspect. New intake tract, completely new intake tract. They increased the throttle body size from 55 to 58 millimeters, so you get a 3 millimeter increase. Of course, they needed more because that VVT 121 demands it. So the new intake tract, that's just power performance right there, guys. A single counterbalancer is tuned to cancel undesirable vibration.
Yeah, how did it feel as compared to, say, your motor on your 2014, your 103?
So that's what I've always appreciated about Harley is they've done a phenomenal job. We've talked about in the past with the Rushmore and with the Milwaukee-Eights too. To go past a little bit, if you guys don't know, when they first introduced the 107 Milwaukee-Eight, they had people testing it and they took out almost all vibration, and riders got on it and rejected it. This is not a Harley. It feels like some other metric bike. We don't like it. We don't want it. And so Harley actually introduced vibration back in via the counterbalancer like this. This has got a single one. I will tell you, Harley tastefully left vibration in. It feels like, it doesn't feel as much as our 103s. It's more a Milwaukee-Eight feel, but even just it's just a smoother motor, but you still get almost as much feedback, if that makes sense.
Sure.
It's weird.
Okay.
So you feel it, you shift, you feel it, everything's still there. It's still very Harley-esque. They were very careful about that. And I can't believe they did it that well. It was just the right amount for me. So you don't have to worry about that. It feels like a Harley, but a new Harley. That's all I can say. But you won't be disappointed. New high lift camshaft with longer duration. So obviously power, performance. Your power band is in a different spot. When I was riding it, I felt like the power band, like our bikes, the 103s, twin cams, and even the Milwaukee-Eight for that matter, 107, the 114. Is it the one? The 107, 114. Those bikes even have the power band kind of in the same area, like right around that 3,500 is where if you want to stay in that 3,500, you can fucking power it and try to lift the front wheel. That's where it's at. This was more to me like in the 43, 4,500. As soon as you got up in there, holy shit, hang on. That's where I could throttle blip it and bring that front wheel damn near off the ground. So that's probably all with the VVT too. That all changed. It's going to be a higher. Yeah, the higher. That has to do with the cam too.
The higher cam lift and the VVT. Yep. Yeah, it's definitely going to be able to run a little higher RPM.
Remember when I was test riding? They gave it to us a couple of weeks or a month. The Street Glide ST.
Yeah,
it had the cam in it.
That one liked to be a little higher too.
Yep. It did. It's though not the 114. It's the 117.
You had the 117. Yeah.
Well, that's what I just said. 114. That's why I was looking. It's not. It's the 107 and the one.
Well, there's
they did the 114
and the 117.
And the 117.
Yeah. So the ST had that 117 with the cam in it, and they'd like to be a little higher as well.
A lot higher. Yeah. So you're going to get that. Performance. You won't have any troubles passing. We passed some cars just frickin' even in third, fourth gear, just lay on that throttle, do that VVT, kicks in. Remember that everything's adjusting on the fly and you get that power band. So amazing Milwaukee-Eight VVT 121. Well done. More power, more torque, water cooled, less heat. I mean, you name it. It's got it going on. Let's talk about the airbox while we're there too. Obviously, this motor needs more air. So it's a larger airbox. The volume is 4 liters. So it's bigger. It's sleeker. I should say it's longer.
Yeah.
One of the things you complained about.
Not quite as tall, but it's longer. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Yeah.
Yes. So one of the things people like Lurch complained about, and we complained about it on the ST when we did our review, I remember. You wrote it in the video. And tall guys like Lurch, I'm 5'8", so it's never a problem for me. My leg never hits the air intake. But if you're 6'6" or something like that, a lot of guys, their leg hits that.
Even on my stock one. I've got the Advanced Science VO2 naked intake on my 2015 Road Glide Special, but I retain the stock cover. And my leg's up against it. So if anything sticks out much farther than the stock one, so like what you're talking about is the 90-degree heavy breather on that ST, it's in a horrible place for me. I couldn't do it. So if I was to buy a bike with one of those 90-degree heavy breathers, first thing I would have to do is get rid of it. And on top of that, probably I'd move my floorboards out and forward a little bit. That's just part of being, 6'4". These bikes are designed for the average height guy.
Right. Normal people.
Yeah, normal people. So I buy them and I've got to do bars, generally speaking. I've got to make my brake pedal and my floor pans a little bit more ergonomic for me. But looking at this one in particular, while they did increase the size of it, looks like they didn't get crazy with it sticking out the side of the bike. So I think that I'd be able to ride with this one and not be uncomfortable.
Yeah. They got complaints on that over the years, and that's why they changed it, I guarantee.
Good. Yeah.
Nobody told me that, but I guarantee that's why they did. So you won't have any problems there. It's a different look. That motor demands more air, and they needed to put that there. So, Also, talking about the motor specs, you've got 139 pounds of foot torque and 115 horsepower. And again, an 8% torque increase and a 9.5% horsepower increase from the Milwaukee-Eight 117. Definitely no lack of power on this bad boy. Any other questions, Lurch, on the motor that you want to know or that I didn't discuss or nothing?
No, I think you covered it well.
Okay. Let's move on.
Are you going to talk about the tranny a little bit, the transmission?
Yeah. So
while we're talking powertrain?
Yeah, it's good. So the transmission, they put a new shift drum in it. It's the same 6-speed, not a lot of changes there, but they did do a new shift drum, and that's supposed to help you get in neutral easier. It was substantially easier. And so they did a very good job. You know how everybody fights that a little bit. I mean, big deal, but sometimes you miss it and you can't get it and you're just trying to use your toe, just flick it up a little bit. We stopped a lot on the shoulder to let cars go by so we could film and
get on it.
So we could get rid of all the cars in an open spot so we could frickin' corner. But it was super easy to get neutral. So well job there with the new shift drum. I know so many of you will appreciate that. We covered cooling system, thermal comfort. Just make sure I covered everything on here. Yeah, there's channels. The Road Glide fairing can be used to channel more or less air to the rider's torso area for desired comfort. Those are those little adjustable. The new air deflectors located on the fork skirts of the CVO Street Glide may be adjusted. So there's little fork skirt adjusters on the Street Glide to reduce wind turbulence to the rider's head. So just a few differences there, but obviously you guys all know, if you're new to the podcast and you don't know, or you're new to Harley, we've discussed it in the past. The only difference between a Street Glide and a Road Glide is the fact that the Road Glide is a fixed fairing. The handlebars turn freely. The fairing stays fixed. It doesn't move. A Street Glide batwing fairing, the fairing actually is attached to the bars and the whole fairing turns with the bike. Other than that, every other aspect of those bikes, for the most part, is exactly the same, minus where your storage compartment is for your jukebox, your infotainment. So a few, but other than that, they're spitting images, same frame, same motor, same wheels, same everything else. So when I cover these, I'm covering both for you guys. Let's see. We're going to skip that. Yeah, we talked about the cam, the new intake. I'm covering a lot. See, I have all the stuff memorized. That's why I didn't even need the notes. The new airbox, charging output. I didn't talk about this in my video, but charging output increased by 20% to 58 peak amps and 48 peak amps. The Milwaukee-Eight 117 has 48 The current capability at both idle and cruising speeds is increased to support added vehicle content and accessories while maintaining optimal battery health. So heated gear, stereo systems, amps, stuff like that's going to be able to handle it better with that charging system. All right, high performance exhaust. We'll get into that, and we've still got some stuff. We're gonna, some good stuff coming up. We've got to cover. You guys want to know this, but we're gonna handle this real quick. Like, ride longer and treat your ass with some respect already.
Treat that ass.
Oh, yeah. Get hooked up with a premium butt buffer seat cushion. This company of bikers developed a super thin hospital-grade seat cushion made of solid and elastic materials, and it's unlike gel pads that will leak if punctured. The butt buffer is designed not to slide around on your seat, fits all motorcycles, installs in seconds, easily cleans, and it helps to dampen those gall darn vibrations, Lurch. With plenty of models to choose from, they assure you'll have a comfortable ass when riding.
Comfortable ass.
Head over to Law Abiding Biker store and check out our full line of butt buffer seat cushions, selling the bejesus. Yeah, you know it's coming.
Old Bob Dawson was down at the store yesterday, and he said,
Bob Dawson, patron member, was down at our Law Abiding Biker store facility.
Yeah, we were getting him paid up for the paint job that he had done down there for us, and we were just looking at some stuff, and I sent him out there with some little bit of swag stuff, and he said, hey, you got to tell me about that butt buffer, man. Is it really that good? I said, absolutely, dude. And so we got one out and started playing around with it, showed him how it, you can connect
You started
it
playing
to the
around
seat.
with his butt?
Yeah, with the butt buffer.
Oh, okay. Cameras in that store, don't make
yeah, you can go back and watch if you want.
It doesn't record it. It doesn't record anything inside.
Unless
the alarm goes off, yeah.
So he was curious, does it really stick to your seat, and does it move around when you shift around the seat? And it doesn't. You and I just throw ours right on. We don't even connect it to the seat, and you can move around on your seat, and the thing's got a nice sticky.
Yeah, we don't even strap them down like you say. I never throw it on there.
But they come with little connectors that, depending on your seat, might clip to the edges of your seat.
By a venture bike, I do, because I'm shifting my weight all over, and
and then they also come with a buckle too. You can go underneath the seat if you want. So I think that's going to be a purchase he's going to be making in the near future. He said he's going to bring his bike down and see which size it fits his seat best. Love mine.
If you guys go look at the reviews, we didn't know when we got that product how cool it was going to be. We got it to test it and try it years ago, and we're like, yeah, we'll give it a shot. I was like, I was sold.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I was using an Airhawk seat at the time. If guys have heard of that one, it was designed by some proctologist, and it's got these little air pockets in it, and it's supposed to reduce pressure. But the problem with it is even if you have just a little bit of air in it, you're still up off the seat and you don't feel connected to the bike. And of course it can leak if punctured, right?
Yep.
So the company got a hold of us. I said, send it out. We don't sell anything that we don't like. So we'll test it and then we'll get a hold of you. And I put it on my bike for our Sturgis trip. Sold. Yep. Absolutely great product.
I forgot mine on our
you did.
Midwest or our Death Valley trip. And I have been running it for years on long trips. It was good for me to forget it, actually, because it reminded me how freaking good that thing is and how much I missed it on that 4,000-mile trip.
If you love something, set it free, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So you set it free and you found out you still love it.
Hoping that won't happen again. All right, so the cool thing about this bike is, another cool thing is they really increase performance on this bike, but not only that, increased performance, less weight is increased performance, right? They shaved 31 pounds off the Street Glide and they shaved 35 pounds off the Rogue Glide. They did that. They use a lighter gauge steel on the fuel tank. You can't notice, but they did. The rider can't notice. And then they used a different forging process, aluminum forging process of some sort for the triple clamps, I believe. Those are a couple things that they did among other things that made the bike lighter. So you've got a way more powerful bike and it's lighter, faster, and easier. Shaving, I'm just going to see if I mixed, a liquid aluminum forging process, reduced, by 7 pounds. Lighter gauge steel, fuel tank. Yeah. So, and obviously that improves performance in every aspect, like braking, handling, and acceleration, guys. So, awesome done there. It's amazing. I do want to say, with all this said, real quick, this is why King of the Baggers is so good. And I said this, if you guys haven't seen my King of the Baggers videos behind the scenes when they took me down for spring training practice, it's behind the scenes of these King of the Baggers race bikes. what Harley-Davidson is getting out of that, and I talk about that in that video, is the ability to test things that they can test the shit out of things, because these guys are running these bikes like mothers out there on the track at 170 miles an hour. They're able to take like the new throttle body. I know they increased that. That's all stuff that's going to make it. Now, not exactly like King of the Baggers, but it gives them an idea on how to increase performance and make modifications to the street versions that work.
Yeah, the racing, there's a lot of technology and advancement that's born out of racing. We talked about in previous podcasts in the car market. It's awesome to see them racing these baggers, because that is just going to benefit us as the civilian rider, because they're going to make so many improvements on our street bikes.
Yep, exactly. So let's talk suspension. It's got high performance suspension. Up front, people don't realize, like, my videos are very thorough compared to a lot of others. And did you hear all the specs that I went over while Matt's watched the video? I memorized that shit, dude. I know. I don't have anything to
impressive. That's impressive.
I memorized it on the flight. I memorized it in my hotel room the night before.
You were
memorized
rattling that stuff off like you had a teleprompter in front of you. Well done.
Thank you.
Done. I know that's hard to do.
Oh, it's hard to do. And I missed a few little things, but I can always make them up. I figured in voiceover, but I didn't. The little things I missed we'll talk about here, but they're not critical to the video. But yeah, I literally, guys, have to, I do it a lot different than a lot of the other YouTube channels. I really care about, and that's not talking about them. Everybody does it their own way. My way is I want to know, and I want to give you guys what's going on. And there's no better way to talk about it than while I'm riding and experiencing it. So all that stuff I say in that, I memorize this stuff, dude. I'm not even looking at the notes. Lurch knows I'm generally, but I'm just rattling shit off.
Got it all in your head.
That's why it's good to do these podcasts right when I get done.
Absolutely.
Do this in a month that I had to refer to the notes.
Well, once you retire from your full-time job, we can do that a little more often.
Do what?
Do a podcast right away like this.
Yes, exactly.
Unfortunately, you've got to work, and so we've got to schedule it when we can schedule it. And so this is awesome when we can do it like this, where you literally just got back, the 2 day before yesterday, and we're podcasting about it.
It's nice because I'm still pumped about it too.
Yeah.
So high performance suspension up front, they did inverted, which is really nice. Inverted Showa, 47 millimeter forks with 4.6 inches of travel. They're amazing. We'll talk a little more about suspension, Lurch, but they're up front for stock, amazing addition. On the rear, they put Showa. It's 3 inches of travel. That increased, which is interesting. I always thought ours were 3 inches, or maybe it's the aftermarket we're putting on that are 3 inches. So the new have more travel, up to 3 inches in the rear. Nice thing is, they have preload adjustment, saddlebag removal required it's got a spanner wrench to adjust that. Now, this is brand new, on these Showas. They actually put an exposed knob, and I'm calling it an intermediate knob for
the fine tuner. Well said,
for adjusting. So it is exposed all the time. It's low. It's just in front of the left saddlebag. And so you can get your major adjustments. And then if you add, a backpack or something, you can make some finer adjustments, for that additional weight or lack of weight with that intermediate knob. Even cooler, rebound damping adjustments. We've never seen that on stock Harley suspension. An adjuster screw on each side on the bottom of the shocks. So
about time.
Yeah. So you're getting amazing stock suspension. All right. Anything else on suspension? You asked me the other day, how did it feel compared to like my aftermarket Ohlins?
Yeah. Would you think you need to change it out? Is it is it better quality than we're used to? Because having the inverted forks and the adjustments and the rebound dampening, that's all the stuff that premium aftermarket stuff has. So my question to you was, do you think you'd replace and put Ohlins or Wilburs or something in it?
I hate it when I can't answer a question. Here's the reason I can't answer that.
You need to spend some more time on it. Yeah, it's hard with just a quick test ride, you got to take it through some different roads, but you didn't
paved roads.
Didn't tour on it. You didn't get it off on on some bumpy roads and really test it out.
Alleys.
Yeah, it definitely
speed bumps.
It definitely sounds like a huge improvement. I'll be curious moving forward to see how it stacks up to some of the premium aftermarket stuff.
Me too. I can tell you for stock, it's awesome. And for regular road, just general, it's fine. It's great. That's all I can say. I had a day with this thing, guys. Not even a full day. So yeah, it'll be curious to see. I still love my Ohlings. I still would rather just on the road, just because just because I'm used to it. My aftermarket Ohlings on my Street Glide Special. We do sell that in the LAB Biker store, by the way, guys. That Ohlings, we got install videos along with Progressive. What else?
And Wilbur's.
And Wilbur's is amazing too. Yeah,
it's pretty good.
We're off the back of install. That's freaking amazing suspension too, along with Ohlings is amazing.
We've sold several of those here recently. The Wilbur's. Yeah.
Thanks everybody that's purchased some Wilbur's through our store. You will not be disappointed. Ohlings, same thing. Won't be disappointed. But so yeah, that's pretty much it with the suspension. Yeah. Okay. Okay, we've still got a bit to talk about here. Some getting into the infotainment system, some of the controls, that kind of stuff. We're not done at all, but we're going to keep moving forward as fast as we can. We want to get you guys all the information that you need to know. Find out if this bike is right for you.
Are you searching for the easiest and quickest detachable luggage system for your motorcycle?
Shit, yeah, I am, Lurch.
Rick Rack has just what you're looking for. Forget all those frustrating straps and bungee cords that can come loose and slap your paint. Check out one of Rick Rack's awesome quick attach systems, strapless luggage rack systems. His father and son team has designed something really special that you can't find anywhere else. Yep, these guys ride, so they truly understand the needs of bikers. Their Rick Rack quick attach system is strong, durable, and secure with a lockable system. Also, check out their full line of touring bags to accompany your quick detach system. Once you use a Rick Rack, you'll never go back. What are you waiting for, bike hogs? Head on over to Law Abiding Biker Store and check out our full line of Rick Rack products.
Oh yeah, I wish I'd have had my Rick Rack on the CVO, bro, because I was trying to carry all my film gear. We didn't have racks, we didn't have luggage, nothing. I had to downsize and try to fit what camera gear I needed in the saddlebags, wrapped up in hotel towels and sweatshirts. So yeah, would have been nice to have my beloved Rick Rack. All right, moving on. We got a lot. So where are we at? Let's long haul ergonomics. Let's just dive. Let's talk brakes. So brand new, guys. The Brembo brakes they put on here. They upped the dual front disc brakes. They upped them from 300 millimeters to 320. So more braking there. Brembos are awesome. The biggest thing is they're radial mounted, not axial mounted. If you don't know, do we want to describe what that is?
Well, they're in line with the rotors now, as opposed to being up and down. They're forward and back, and they're more in line with the rotors.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You'll see a lot of race bikes and things, and they're just better performing brakes. I'm not going to explain the physics of that, but they offer better performance. So first time, awesome. Radial mounted.
It's just the calipers. This is the way the brake pads squeeze the rotor instead of being.
It's the forces on them too.
Yeah,
it's the way the forces.
Line.
Yes.
Yeah, they just grab better.
Yep. So I think we have a podcast, and that's one of the subjects that we're going to get into that.
Okay.
There's a lot to radial versus axial. Axial is what you guys see right now on your Hardys. They've used them for years, but they do yield important benefits, the radial mounted. So that's pretty much. Oh, the rear is still a 300, and obviously single Brembo 4-piston caliper back there. Long haul ergonomics. The seat shape and padding is designed. Materials, they improve long range comfort. I would still get a butt buffer. No stock seat, even a CVO is going to be great. But the seat is shaped to rotate the rider's hips to a neutral position relative to the spine, reducing fatigue on a rider's back and neck. I will say, very true. I did really like the stock seat. It was pretty comfortable. Again, I wasn't on a 4,000 mile trip, but I definitely guarantee you would need a butt buffer. And I would also change it out. I don't know why on the CVOs they don't put heated seats. Like, I've never understood that. The CVOs have every bell and whistle imaginable to man. No heated seat. What? It's a premium touring bike.
Seats are so, you ask 10 guys, you're going to get 10 opinions on what the best seat is. There are really so many options out there, and people love what they love, that even on the CVO, they're trying to make the seat nice, but I think they know that most people are going to shit can that stock seat and go with something else. So maybe.
But would they if it was heated? Maybe still.
Hard to say.
Yeah.
They're looking for, style too with this bike.
Yeah, true.
And admittedly, the the Harley hammock seat like you have, or even the Mustang Super Tourer on my bike, they're large. They're not as attractive
that's true.
as the stock seat, but they're much more comfortable because of that. So I don't know, maybe if they put something with a bigger saddle that was heated, maybe people will leave it on there. But my thought is they want it to look good, and they know people are going to change it out probably anyways.
Yep. That's good. That's a good argument. I can buy that for sure. But it did push me. I was actually very comfortable as far as the ergonomics of it. I really liked the back support. It's a high arch.
Right.
And it felt good on my back. I was sit up pretty straight, and it pushed me forward at 5'8" with my arm length to where I could ride a Road Glide with bent arms. And we'll talk about the bars in a minute. But so I think it was fabulous for a stock seat. Not a lot else to say about that. While we're doing that, let's put into the bars. They have a flatter, wider bend on the bars.
Particularly the Road Glide?
Just the Road Glide.
Okay, yep.
Yeah. Street Glides, there's not a lot to say about the bars there. Pretty standard Street Glide bars. But the Road Glide, yes, wider, flatter bend for a more natural riding position.
It
was super comfortable. I wouldn't change them.
They look a lot like my bars, to be honest. I've got some Road 6.
Aftermarket.
I got some Road 6 custom bars on mine, 13-inch, and these look really similar. These are higher, definitely, on this CVO than they've been in the past. I don't know that they're 13 inches, but they look like, this is just a guess.
That's what she said.
They look like they're probably at least 10, 11. They're higher than they've had them in the past, and yes, they're much flatter. So the problem with when I got my 15 Road Glide was they had what they call the buckhorn bars, and the handles are really turned in and pushed my biceps into my rib cage. Like, it was really uncomfortable to ride. So I'll have to sit on one and see what the handlebar height is. I was looking at this CVO Road Glide as compared to my bike now, and the bars look really similar. It's just my bars are pushed farther forward because of my long arms. So as long as you can adjust these and rock them forward, I think I could probably get away with just keeping the stock bars, and that would be the first time ever for me.
Yep, I agree. I think for me, my height, I would, and I would be interested to see if you put them on, or if you got to get on that bike, what you thought of them. There will be down at Milwaukee. I might be able to at least have you sit on one.
Oh, absolutely,
and see what you think. So
the only thing, this is just my guess looking at it, is I just would probably want to rock those bars forward a little bit. But they've got the setup's a little bit different too. They've got a clamp, an exposed clamp on those bars, so it'd be as easy as just loosening up 4 bolts, rocking it forward, and clamping it back down, versus having to take a bunch of inner
to adjust.
Crap. Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
and a lot of guys said that. That's or not a lot of guys, but we said that when we're down there. It's pretty cool. Still, handlebar job. You still got all the wiring and all that. It'll just make it. You don't have to take off an inner panel, but really it doesn't change a whole bunch. Our video would still be our handlebar video would still be very, very relevant because most of the video covers the wiring and stuff. It's just, you're not going to have to take off an inner dash panel.
Yeah, it looks like you could even put in the T-bars that a lot of guys are putting on the Road Glides these days. It might make it easier to do that as well.
True. I think you're going to have some more options.
Yeah, now you've got to do some cutting and drill some holes and stuff in your inner dash panels to get those T-bars down. So this looks like it'd make it a lot easier to do.
Yep.
The top of the shocks are even exposed.
Yeah. Yeah. You can see a lot down in there.
Yeah.
Definitely kind of a different redesign in there. I do like that you can see those bars and the clamp and all that. I think it's a good look. And again, it makes it just a bit less work changing bars out. So if you do want to change bars, I think our video is still very relevant to that with the wiring and all that. We'll have to take a deeper dive. You just want to take off an inner dash panel, and that's it. Yeah. Basically. So
you're still going to have to take the fairing apart and do the wiring and all that kind of stuff. Yep.
It's all going to be very relevant. lawabidingbiker.com/Harley handlebars are 4 handlebar install videos over there. Premium videos there, guys. All right, so let's move down to the storage, the Road Glide. If I remember right, your Road Glide is kind of up, right? It's more straight.
What are you talking about?
Your storage compartment in your Road Glide. These are, let me tell you how these are. They're down in. So you open the lid and they go down the whole compartment. So you drop stuff in it.
Okay. No.
At an angle.
Yeah. They definitely go down, but not much. They kind of go straight in.
That's what I thought.
So if you lift one of the doors up going down the road, there's a potential if you had like a handkerchief or,
dude wipe.
Bandana is what I meant.
Portable dude wipe.
If you had your handkerchief.
Jesus, dude.
Jesus. If you had a bandana or gloves,
hanky,
you could potentially lose that. But it is down a little bit.
Right.
But not as secure as this. It sounds like you dropped down into the container.
I showed it in my video, how deep it was.
That's a good improvement.
Yeah. It is a good improvement. So good storage, both sides, obviously with doors, to close those and secure them from the weather. The Street Glide has no more jukebox compartment off to the side. Remember, we're going to talk about the infotainment system but it's pretty much takes up the whole dash, with your digital gauges. So they move the compartment. It's a little nice drawer with a button, and it has spring loaded, or, it's on a track, and you push a little button and it kind of just comes out on its own. And then, so it's got just a big wide drawer in there. That's where you're
fairly deep too.
Fairly deep. Yeah. It's bigger than the jukebox compartment.
You can throw your phone in there, your wallet, all kinds of stuff.
Yep. And it's got the, cord in there for hooking up to the boombox, USB-C. They changed for all you tech nerds. It's no longer Type A USB, the old school USB that we're all used to. That's this Lurch. It's the big fat ones. They changed it to USB-C, so that's very cool. What else? That's interesting. That's an interesting point, because me and Block did. Yeah, it is USB-C. So it's just a faster connection, better data connection, basically. So
a lot of people are
you just have to have
some adapters.
It's what's coming with your new iPhones. They're USB-C now.
Right.
Yeah, and if you don't know, if you have old, you can adapt. You can do a USB-C to Type A or Type A to USB-C. I've got lots of them.
I've got
little Amazon
C's, but I haven't had the need for C's to A's, but I could see needing it now.
Yep. If you have older iPhone or cord. So don't get too concerned about that. But yeah, that's a nice addition because that's the way everything's going. So speaking of the infotainment system, here's the deal. I want to say up front, I'm going to go over some of the specs of this thing. I had limited time with this bike, and I say it in my video. I did not have time to completely dig in to this brand new infotainment system with Skyline operating system, Skyline OS. So what I'm telling you, I'm not telling you whether it works perfect or not. I didn't have time with it. And we were on pre-production bikes anyways. And so it doesn't have the latest software and all that. These were pre-production. But I can say it's beautiful. And what I did use of it worked great. But it's 12.3 inches. Your old boom boxes, guys, were 6.5. That's a 90% increase in real estate. However, a lot of that real estate is taken up by digital gauges, your tach and your speedometer and everything. No more analog gauges. It is all digital. It looks beautiful. TFT color touchscreen. You can work it with gloves very easily. I tested that. It's fine. You can even do if there's rain and water on the screen, it will still react even with gloves and rain. Replaces all analog instrumentation and switches, as previously on CVO models. It's compatible with Apple and Android devices. I will tell you that I didn't say this in my video, and I meant to, but it's not there, and I'm not redoing it to put it back in. It does come with Apple CarPlay. I didn't have a lot of time with this system. I don't know, and I didn't get to ask whether it's wireless Apple CarPlay or wired only. So the previous boom boxes like the GTS is wired only. My Ford F-150, I can do wireless Apple CarPlay. Nonetheless, it has Apple CarPlay. You can still use your Android phone if you're an Android guy. I love you, Android guys. Just relax, you Android fanboys. It's okay. Don't get mad at me. It doesn't have Android Auto. So you can still use your Android phone on it, but you just have to plug it in. And obviously you can still play music and make phone calls, but it's all through this new system. So you can't mirror. But all you Apple guys, Apple's always first in car systems for a reason. All right. I'm just teasing you Android guys. To keep your Androids.
Let me ask you a question because I'm looking up something here just to clean up that, whether it's wireless or not. In your truck, do you connect Bluetooth or via Wi-Fi to get the wireless?
Bluetooth.
Okay. All right. Because I'm just looking at an article here that says the Skyline system is capable of supporting a Wi-Fi connection with the rider's device, allowing access to info about weather and navigation.
Yeah.
So maybe.
That's a good point too.
So maybe.
So like my Ford F-150, I can update the system. I'm parked next to my house. It's connected to my Wi-Fi. So I can update the system. This too. So no longer will you have to, if you don't want, do like thumb drives, remember, boombox, all that. You can literally just update it with Wi-Fi.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah. So they made, this is a massive, I do want to say this, guys. I did talk to the rep and I asked him, here's my question. Cause I'm a tech nerd and I know a lot of you guys care. It's a big part of this bike and this thing's got to work. It's got your digital gauges on it and stuff. So I asked him, my question to him was, so this new Skyline OS that operates this infotainment system, was this a third-party company like they did in the past, developers, or did you have in-house devs that developed this? He said both. He goes, our devs developed some of it and worked along with the third-party company that assisted. So to me, that says that Harley was very aware that they needed to have hands-on and not just contract this completely out, that they needed this to work really, really well. That's just my opinion. Again, I can't tell you a lot about it. I'm hoping that I can get this bike. When we go down to Milwaukee, they're going to have a couple of these on handlebars, and a stand display
models, yeah.
So you can, and with the actual release software, not the pre-production. And so me and Lurch are going to mess with it a lot. I'd like to get my bike, hands on one of these bikes for like 2 weeks. So that I can just test ride it more. I can test ride the suspension more for you guys. I can check that. I can just get more in depth on this bike. And really, it's hard. I'm doing the best I can with the limited time I have it for you guys. But so again.
Here's something interesting.
Yeah.
It looks like you can integrate HomeLink on the North American bikes to pair up to 3 garage doors.
Yep. So it's kind of like HomeLink is kind of like HomeKit. I'm not a fan of HomeLink because it just it's not as polished as an Apple product. HomeKit, so you can, but
you can just ask your virtual assistant.
I just asked Siri, open West, open West shop door, and she does. But I have all that in my HomeKit, and I have Apple CarPlay. But for those of you that don't, and or you're using Android, then HomeLink is a good option for you. Google does the same thing. Google, I forget what it's a Google HomeKit. I forget what it's called. We had to hook it up for the TV down at the store, remember?
Oh, yeah.
I had to, it's basically a Google, I forget what it's called. It's Google HomeKit of some sort, but you can use that on your Android. But yes, it does have HomeLink if that's what you guys use. Thanks for bringing that up. Apple CarPlay projection services are enabled. Yep, no Android Auto. I'll tell you, Android fanboys and fangirls, I have to believe that Android's always second when it comes to most of the time. And remember when we came out with the Boombox GTS in 19, guys were pissed because it came with Apple CarPlay, no Android Auto. About 3 or 4 months later, they added Android Auto. I can almost, with very high level of certainty, believe that will come. I think they just wanted to push this out. They always, like I say, most the time put Apple CarPlay first and then they push out Android Auto. So I have to believe that that's coming, although I can't get an exact answer on that for you guys at this time. But I just believe that's going to happen. So let's see. 12.3, 400% more screen area. The CVO models offers more than 400% more screen area. Is that right?
400%.
I thought it was like
a lot, but was it supposed to be 40?
No, it should be like 90%, right? Okay. If you have a 6.5 and now you have a 12.3, that's like 90%.
I'll do the math.
So I don't know what that, it's like 90% bigger. The touch screen functions, gloves, not affected by rain.
Oh yeah, it says right there, 90%.
Okay, I thought, and I don't know where the 400 came from. I was like, that math doesn't work. Yeah, so here's huge, guys. Huge. So in the past, with the Boombox GTS, once you got that, and or the 6.5, you had to add, you always had hands-free profile, which means you could obviously Bluetooth pair your phone to the Boombox system. No problem. But for those that want to pair their headset with the Boombox GTS, you had to get a WIM, a wireless headset interface module. We actually talked about that up front of this episode, right? Somebody asked a question about the WIM.
We're talking about those jumpers.
Yeah. So yeah, and we talked about the WIM. Mm-hmm. So you had to get an add-on product. It was several $100s if I remember right. We have a full install video on it, but you added that to your Boombox. Then that allowed full headset connectivity. But obviously, if you want full functionality and stereo, you had to have an Apple branded Sena wireless headset. Drum roll. Brrr, brrr. Yes, the new 12.3 infotainment system on these CVOs out of the box is ready. So somehow the WIM is built in. I don't know if it's added or this new system, they just built probably a module within the head unit. You can now out of the box pair your headset and your phone. You don't have to add a WIM.
About time.
Question comes, Lurch asked it the other day. Do you still, for full functionality, have to use a Harley branded Sena headset with this infotainment system for full 100% functionality, stereo sound? Don't have the answer to that, but I'm telling you yes, because there's no way Harley, they're going to keep that to where if you want full functionality, you're going to have a Harley branded Sena headset. Just my guess, but I would throw $100 down right here in front of you right now to tell you that is going to be the case.
I think that's a good guess.
Yeah. Harley's not going to change that. They're still going to keep selling their Harley brand headsets. But
those WIMs were $399. Whew.
Yeah. Okay. They're almost 400.
Yeah.
Wow. I forgot. I thought it was a couple hundred.
Me too.
Yeah.
That's why I had to look it up.
They may have went up with by inflation too.
Could have.
Yeah. Hard to say.
Bidenomics.
Yeah. All right. The Bluetooth receiver for what? Yeah. Built into the system. Voice recognition. New voice recognition system. So it's more conversational. So they're trying to be more Siri-esque. Which whatever. I don't use the built-in system. That's why I want Apple CarPlay. That's why when I look at new cars, one of the big things, I probably wouldn't buy any main car without Apple CarPlay. That's just, it's so perfect the way it works. I hate all cars built-in systems. Everybody's trying to make their own OS. Hardy made their own Skyline OS here. It's just, I want car manufacturers to stop trying to be software companies. That's what I want, because they do a shitty job at it.
I assume then there's a button where you can press and hold to just talk to Siri versus using their prompts. I assume so.
Just like our bikes.
On the older bikes.
It'll be a comm button right there. I didn't get to test any of this.
On the older bikes, you could tap once and then it'll get you into their prompts, or you press and hold for 3 seconds and then Siri will pop up. So I assume they'll do the same thing.
I would assume.
Yeah.
Yes. I wish I had time. Hopefully we can have time with this thing, but so you can use Siri, but they're trying to make it more Siri-like where it can be more conversational. Before it was like maps, this is more conversation, like, hey, take me to the nearest gas station, or, instead of fixed prompts. Does that make sense?
Right.
Show maps, instead of fixed prompts, you can just find me a gas station. You had to perform search. Free map.
You don't have to be so specific with your request.
Conversational.
You can just be conversational and it'll pick it up.
Yep. Hey, where's
nice. You don't need to memorize a bunch of prompts.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. Which is why nobody used the other system.
Right.
And I still, again, whatever you want to do. I don't know how many people use, even on my car, we've got the Denali and stuff. The inbuilt in navigation systems are freaking horrid. Mm-hmm. It's so, and it takes long, and the way you type in addresses, I can't fathom using those. I just prefer to I do use the main navigation system when we're on our trips for Ride Planner. Cause it's always in the background for me. And then I use CarPlay for everything else, but I can always flip back to, Does that make sense?
Yep, absolutely.
So they still have their place, for sure, but I just don't like using them to type in addresses and stuff. This is huge. Oh, now we all know in the past, boombox updates. We've got videos on how to operate all these older boomboxes, guys. lawbangbiker.com/Harley boombox. Everything over there. Ride planner video, the old boombox. Know everything, the secret menus, tips, tricks, how to use it most efficiently. You got to get those videos. They're our best-selling videos by far. You will be very pleased because these are going to be, other head units are going to be around for a long time still. But we all know with the old boombox systems, you had to go through Navi Extras, which is a third-party company to update your GPS maps, and you had to pay a premium, like $150 for North America. They are coming now with free map dates, this new system, for the embedded navigation system for 3 years.
Nice.
That's huge. I was always kind of not happy that Harley did that they made you buy those maps through Navi Extras. So hopefully, I'm hoping they aren't even using Navi Extras anymore, but whatever, they may. But I don't know how that looks as far as where you go and update them. That again, I haven't had time, but free maps for 3 years. So you guys will be happy to hear that.
I'm always thinking, here's what I'm thinking. If we can't get our hands on the bike, maybe we can get our hands on a display model. Maybe
they can just send it to me. Oh,
because it'd be a lot easier to ship one of those than want to get you a bike.
Oh, I'll email our rep, dude.
Yeah, see if they can get you one. Then we can set that sucker up.
After Milwaukee.
Yeah.
See if he can ship me one of those.
Yeah, absolutely. Then we can just set that up, and I'm sure, we could have a little more time with it.
Dude, never thought of that.
Yeah.
We're in.
Okay.
When I'm down there, I'm going to talk to Paul.
Okay, good. Yeah,
I bet
that's a hell of an idea.
Yeah. Dude, do not let me forget this.
I won't.
We got to get that done.
I'm going to text it to you right now.
Well, you just remember you're my AA too. So
I can't remember everything.
Well, you can put it on your thing then. I got enough text because that text will get lost.
All
just
right.
put it on I got an Evernote of everything about that trip. Put that as things we have to get done. Anyways, so the new built-in user face, it doesn't allow the owner to activate the ECU program and required for installation of certain accessories, for example, fog lights, home link, heated grips. These updates, so they don't have to be done by the dealer anymore. You can do this right now. Now, the heated grips, it does come with heated grips. The heated grips no longer have a knob on the side of them. You guys all know on the left grip, you can turn the temperature up and down and turn them off. It's now all integrated within the system. There's a menu thing, and you can turn your heated grips on or off and adjust how much heat you want to them. So that's pretty cool. Screen to play options. Just roughly speaking, there's different setups. There's a lot of customization you can do to this new infotainment system. You can do 3 different modes: cruise, sport, and tour. And basically, out of the box, you hit one of those, it displays different information for what you would need on the screen, whether it's maps, whether it's TAC, whether Speedo's always going to be there. And then within that, there's widgets. And so you can change in each of those. There are 3 main packages, and then you can change those packages.
You can customize them.
Customize them too with widgets. You can set that screen up however you want it to look. It's got a white mode. That's
a tech nerd's dream. You'd spend hours. I know you. I can't wait to hours adjusting it.
I'm going to be out here all night, dude. Yeah, drinking a beer, rubbing one out while I'm messing with it. Anyways, so 3 different modes there. Lots of customization. Lots of display widgets. May use the trip switch to select widget they want. In addition, there's blank widget for users that want to display minimal content. There's a dark mode, a very light white screen, which looks really good in daylight. That's very bright. Compass, TPM, outside temp, range, trip, A and B, average fuel, all kinds of stuff you can display. So each function. So ride planner integration, of course, just like the GTS, it's got all the ride planner. You can pass your maps from the HD app right to it via Bluetooth wirelessly. The HD app also informs the owners of firmware updates available for their infotainment system, so you can pop it in your garage, hook it up to Wi-Fi, and update. I'm so glad we don't have to do the thumb drive stuff anymore, dude. These are great improvements.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions on a lot of that stuff I didn't cover in the video? I missed the Apple CarPlay and Android, but I talked pretty much about everything else. I didn't talk about HomeLink or anything like that. So that's some cleanup that you might have not got in the video. Any other questions about the infotainment system, Lurch, that are burning?
Not at this point. I look forward to getting our hands on one and playing with it. And it's, that technology can be a real hurdle for people. And even I'm fairly techie, but I still refer back to the videos that we've done because you just forget stuff over time.
Yep.
But you're very techie, and you instruct as part of your career, and so you've gotten used to teaching people stuff, and so you can take that technology and put it in a way that's easy to understand. So just like our video was so helpful to people with the GT and the GTS, I have no doubt that once we get our hands on one of these and you're able to do a video and you go through everything on that thing, it's going to be very helpful. So I look forward to getting it. But at this point, I don't have any additional questions. It looks nice. I guess I did have one and you answered it, but we'll do it on the podcast. Is how did the hand controls feel as far as working that infotainment center? Because there's a lot more buttons on this thing than there are on the previous bikes.
There is. It's set up very well.
Okay.
Ergonomically, I liked how it was set up. It's all familiar. The toggles are different. They're bigger. You've got wheels around the outside of the center enter button, and it's actually a lot easier, I think, to use. Very big. You could use it much easier with gloves on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's like wheels around and those have like, the right is fast forward, play, volume, and then you got volume up and down. Before the toggles worked a lot more, the center toggles are just like enter and some volume up and down. But then you've got these wheels, and on this side, on the left side, you've got like 4 different options. If you go around it like a clock, it's just
nice big.
It's way better set up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Way better setup. We'll talk more about the controls in a second.
Okay.
Too. That's a good questions though. Ride modes. You've got 3 ride modes. Obviously, Harley's introducing ride modes. You've got traction control. You can turn traction control all the way off if you're stopped. You got to be all the way stopped and to let it know, I don't want traction control. So you can turn that off. A lot of us like that ability. And then on the fly, you can turn it back on while riding, but you can only deactivate it if you're stopped to really make
so you don't accidentally do it.
I guess, yeah.
So that you are mentally aware that it is off.
That you're a dangerous person riding with no traction control. Only done it for years. Anyways, 3 ride modes: rain, road, and sport. Rain, road, and sport. Obviously, those change the characteristics of how the bike acts based on the roadway surfaces and environment. We all know that. You're going to get different responses. I did put it in rain mode. I was coming off a gravel shoulder, floored it, no peel out. So it managed the power to the rear wheel like it should do on rain. It felt slippage a little bit, and I just bogged.
That would have came in handy on our trip down to Death Valley when we're riding 35 degrees with the potential for snow on the ground.
That's when this stuff really comes in handy, right?
Yeah, I would have felt a lot more secure with that on.
Yeah, rain mode would have helped a lot. Would have. Yep, true. So it's got the ride modes. It's also got 2 customizable. This is awesome. 2 customizable ride modes. I did get to go through this a little bit with the rep. Basically, you can take rain, road, and sport, and open them up, and then adjust them. Okay. How much engine braking and this and that and everything in between. The only thing you can adjust is the suspension is not electronic. On the Pan America, it has the same kind of customizable ride modes, but you also have electronic adjustment on your suspension. So it's got everything the Pan has as far as ride modes, but lacking the suspension mode. So very cool to see that introducing ride modes on these Harley-Davidson motorcycles now. Let's talk auto start switch. We'll talk about the clusters. Control clusters here are changed completely, but you've got an auto start switch, your run kill switch up there on the right. It's like a lot of cars now where you push the button and you just let go and then it just starts on its own. You don't have to hold it down like our bike. So I just tapped it and took my finger off and it just and it starts. So that's kind of cool. Interestingly, the brake lever up front they made it adjustable. And basically, it's got a little star wheel behind it with numbers on it, very small numbers. You need glasses to see it, but I don't need that. I just adjusted it. It basically adjusts the brake lever, how far you want it off the grip, whether you want it closer or back. Very nice addition. Well done, Harley, on the adjustable brake lever. Very easy to use. You can just use it with your thumb while you're riding down the road even. It's a little star up there wheel, and you just move it around and adjust it where you want it. No gas cap, so to speak, removable gas cap, so you don't have to worry about losing it. It's a little flick, it's a little lever flush lever that you pull up on, and the whole cap opens, and the seal part, the rubber portion, I'm trying to explain this. It basically is part of that lid, and then you just shut it. So it's a gas cap that you can't take off the bike.
It's attached to the bike.
To the bike.
Did you look or do you recall? Is there a key? Are you able to lock it if you wanted to?
No.
Okay.
If I found there's no key, nothing. No, it's not a lockable gas cap. Good question. So they moved the horn. The horn is no longer the traditional Harley horn coming out the left side.
Oh, yeah.
It's down very low. It's down by the brake lever. It's hidden down in there. So it's not really a showpiece of the bike.
Okay, good.
So that's where your horn is now. The coil pack, so to speak, for lack of a better term, is up on the left side with 2 plug wires coming out of it where your horn used to be. So some changes there. Horn still sounds like a Harley horn.
I'm sure they'll make sure they'll make a chrome cover for that coil.
Oh yeah. You know, people like Sierra 3D are already, they'll be 3D printing these bikes soon and making stuff.
Yeah.
So
I'd look forward to what they come up with.
No doubt. High performance audio, Rockford Fosgate, stage 2, 3-way, 6.5 inches, 6x5 in the front, 5x7 in the rear. You've got 150 watts. The new 500 watt amplifier is capable of powering Rockford Fosgate stage 3. So you can add 6x9s if you want in the saddlebag. That's going to cost you. Available from OEM catalog. They're making a lot of other stuff already for the CVO too, like the big 90-degree high flow intake. So they're already making a lot of stuff that you can add on to the 42,000. I believe I saw a post this morning. I didn't get pricing on the bikes, but I think it starts at $42,999. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I got one. Got the website up right here.
Okay.
Yep.
Why don't you talk about that since you got it up right now?
What do you want to
talk about? The 2 bikes, are they both $42,999?
Oh, let me look at the other one.
Okay.
I'll
keep going while you're looking at that.
Go ahead.
So this has all your rider safety enhancements, of course, just like the other models do now, the specials, but you've got cornering electronic linked brakes, cornering ABS, cornering traction control, cornering drag torque slip control, vehicle hold control. So on hills, the bike holds itself, tire pressure monitoring system.
Yep, both starting at $42.99.
There you go. Add 6,000 if you want. Add 6,000 if you want the whiskey neat. So now you're up to 48, damn near a $50,000 bike. I don't know. That whiskey neat is so beautiful.
$6,000 though.
I know, dude. I wonder how many I don't know, dude. A lot of the people either are stretched to buy a CVO or they just have so much money they just buy a new CVO every year. So I'll be curious to see how many whiskey neats are out there. But the dark platinum is a beautiful color too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you save the $6,000. But anyways, these things are decked out, custom grips, custom floorboards, custom shift levers, custom brake. You know, it's a CVO, guys. So it's got all the other stuff on it. I was saying that some of the parts, the breather extreme air cleaner, the breather extreme wedge, stage 3 saddlebag speakers, wind splitter, windshield, saddlebag guards, color matched luggage trunk you can get for it, the low profile chop tour pack. So that's parts and accessories for the CVO from the Harley-Davidson General Motor Parts and Accessories. All right. So as we wind down here, I've got just a few, I'm going to tell you some of the cons or nitpicky things. You guys know on this channel, I am always very honest, regardless if Harley flies me down there. I don't get paid for any of it. And I'll never change because that's, I hope that my audience knows, likes, and trusts me. And I'm not just going to promote bikes just for the fact so I can get invited again. And that Harley has been honestly, never pushed any of that. They don't care what I say. They want me to be honest. And so certainly, I will continue to do that. You will not see that on a lot of other channels, guys. And it's unfortunate. I'm not saying they're not being honest at all. It's just, I guess our audience, I don't want to just talk. There's always, you can look and things you think improvement. I think that's an honest review. And I don't think, the funny thing is I do it and Harley doesn't care. So it should show you how honest Harley's being, even though they're inviting me down there. It's props to Harley that even though I do say some critical things sometimes, they don't care. It's an honest review, right?
No, yeah, we've learned over the last few years as we've got to have more interaction with the mothership that they really do look and accept rider feedback. So I don't know why I wouldn't expect any less when they're dealing with a podcaster, right? I mean, they want the feedback to improve their bike. So,
and it's on my video too. Yeah,
absolutely. So I think they're very appreciative of the feedback and it's honest feedback. You're not just throwing something negative out there to throw something negative.
Just to be controversial.
Yeah. If you've got something that you want to see, you will point it out and you'll explain why.
I'm thorough.
Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And so, you'll see a lot of the other YouTube channels, maybe just
kind of
gawk, gush, freak out, that this bike is perfect in every way, and they're just so excited to even be on it. And so yeah, anyways, with that said, we appreciate our patron members. We want you to become a patron member. We want to get to know you better. We want to provide you benefits, but hey, if the only way you want to support us is through a flat donation, we never balk at a flat donation. Thank the following people.
Chidley. That's the only name we got. So Chidley of Huntington Beach, California. Ted Theodore of Beaconsfield, Quebec, Canada, and Ryan Lambright of Showa, Indiana. Substantial donation. He says, love your podcast and video content.
lawabidingbiker.com/donate. Definitely hit that link. Helps support us. Helps put a little fuel in the Law Abiding Biker gas tank.
And keep this thing running on down the road.
lawabidingbiker.com/donate. There's a big donate button on our homepage, lawabidingbiker.com. Over to the right-hand side. On mobile, just scroll down a little bit. It's right there too. All right, so we're going to finish this stuff up. So and I am getting nitpicky. Sometimes I have to search for critical things because I think it's the fair way to look at it. I don't, and if it's a perfect bike, I will always tell you guys it's perfect and that I literally couldn't find anything wrong or suggestions. So the CVO, although an amazing bike, I want to say this up front, that we all know in 2014, that's when Harley made a crap load of changes. They really redesigned their bike to make it, a little bit better handling, a little bit sportier, a little bit more technology, really made massive changes to the touring platform. Those were the Rushmore bikes. That's my 2014. I got it in late 13. I was one of the first purchasers of a Rushmore bike, and I still have it. It really took Harley into the future, made it more of a modern bike, a modern company, and really has put them to where they are today. And so I'm calling these, and they haven't done anything since as far as huge Rushmore-esque changes. Yeah, they've made a lot of, you could call them incremental or even some intermediate changes. We got introduced, came with the Boombox GTS in 19, upgrade to the Boombox system, that technology we were talking about. Of course, the Milwaukee-Eight, we can call that an intermediate, a new motor from the motor company, a 107, a 114, 117. We've seen these incremental changes. We're running the Milwaukee-Eight now. Other than that, these bikes pretty much look, feel, and ride the same as they have since 14, except the new motor. You got more power, more torque with the Milwaukee-Eights, okay? Although I love my 103 still. Great motor. I will tell you my opinion. This is the new This is Rushmore-esque era. These CVO, they changed the entire platform, basically. Like, there's hardly anything that's the same on the bike other than it's a motorcycle with an engine in it, and it's got wheels. We didn't go through the controls. Dang it, dude. Before I move on there, let's cover the controls, and then I'll give you my critical. So really quickly speaking, the housings are completely changed from what we're used to. Control clusters are changed. It's a lot. It's better. It's way more ergonomical. It's way more modern. Up on the left in the front with your finger, you can flick high beam, low beam, and then you can flash. It's very much, you'll see that on some different sports bikes and different models. It's much more ergonomic than trying to reach with your thumb for everything. Right. Because you can keep your hands on the grips a lot better than reaching with a thumb.
KLRs have that.
Yeah.
At least in the newer ones. I don't know if yours does. Mine does.
Can't remember where mine is. So that's a good addition. We've already talked about the Boombox, both wheels, enter buttons. You've got a menu button over on the left side that gets into your heated grips and a bunch of other menu options. And then you can hit your toggles to flick through the menu options. I really appreciate you got your horn on your left side with your thumb right there right next to the signal. I like that they kept the signals, unlike every other bike manufacturer. I hate it when they put them on just one side, like our KLRs, you got to cancel. I know a lot of bikes do that. Don't like it. Love that Harley kept our right and left. I just think that's better. I think it's more ergonomic for touring. It makes sense. They're right there at your thumbs. You've got your run kill switch over, your hazards on the right. It's kind of up top. So they're not as flat. They kind of got a top. And so some of your buttons are up kind of on the top, and then some of your buttons are down kind of more flush facing the rider, if that makes sense. And then obviously you've got these back. You've got your odometer and all those trip settings up on your left, what we're used to there, kind of up top by the light switch. I know I'm forgetting some stuff, but you've got your push to talk over on the right-hand side for the intercoms and all that kind of stuff. But essentially, look at the video. They're completely redesigned. I love it. Absolutely love it. It's way better than the setup now. It's more ergonomic. They're bigger. They take advantage of, that sloped front to where they can put some different controls. So anyways, anything else on the controls, Lurch?
I look forward to taking them apart.
Yeah, exactly.
See how they come apart.
Can't wait to start working on these. Yeah.
And we've been doing the same thing for so long. Looks like they're obviously set up a little bit different. So I'll be curious to see how they come apart and come off the bars and where all the wiring is and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. First thing we want to do is tear a CVO apart.
I know.
But we will get to that for sure.
Well, we're both similar in that way where we like to know how things work,
Yep.
like to take it apart and
we'll be doing videos on that for y'all.
Absolutely.
Yep, we'll be doing videos. So back to Project Rushmore-esque bikes. Yes, these are a completely change for the motor company. This is the next step about 9 years later, 14.
Yeah.
26, 7, 8, about 9 years later.
It sticks with my philosophy anyways, that about every 5 years they make major changes to the bikes. In 09, there was big changes. 14, there's big changes. 19, they were significant, not quite this.
GTS only.
Not this big, but it was still a change. And then and they did some motor stuff too. So, but now they're hitting the 24 again. So it's
so
on
I say
par.
Not incremental though.
It's on
the rest
par.
you just mentioned are incremental to me.
To me,
this is a massive overhaul. Like everything changed.
It's yes, but it's still there's big changes. It seems like every 5 years. This is definitely like you back up 10 years. This is huge.
Yes.
So Rushmore in this is huge, but about every 5 years they make some significant changes. So I've been saying that I'm getting ready for a new bike, and I was hoping there'd be something like this.
Yeah, me too.
That was big enough to make me want to do it. So hopefully this will translate and trickle down into some of the other models. Yeah.
So. Project Rushmore-esque. So the infotainment system, let's talk about that. So here's my thing on the infotainment system. I used it a little bit. It was pre-production. What I used, it worked fine. We all know, and I'm not afraid to say this, I said it on my video. I only hope that I prefaced it by asking that question to Harley reps about the infotainment system and how that was developed and whether it was in-house or out. Harley has had a massive problem with their boombox over the years, especially the first version 6.5. Then we got the GTS in 19. It's better, but I have it. We upgraded. And if you want to upgrade from the old boombox 6.5 to the GTS, we do have a full free video on how to do that. I did it on my 14, so I have the GTS unit. It too has many problems. It's better, but it has problems. One is Apple CarPlay connectivity. It doesn't always connect, and that's not a CarPlay issue at all because I use it on other systems and it's fine. That's a internal issue. That's just one of many complaints that we get. So I'm hoping that Harley learned from those mistakes. They have had a lot of pissed off customers. There's lemon units. Me and Matt field so many emails because we're the leader in boombox tutorial videos, and we get so many questions and so much new information on bugs and issues over the years. So I only hope that this infotainment, they better have nailed it. Because if this infotainment system fails and has as many bugs as boombox, especially with integrated digital gauges, they have a chance to piss off a lot of customers. I think it's going to work as well as any other major car manufacturer. They all suck. I'll just tell you that. They all suck compared to, something like the CarPlay. But I'm hoping it's smooth enough that it's acceptable and that it doesn't have a whole bunch of issues. And if they do this right, it will be well noted, and people will once again trust software in Harley-Davidson motorcycles. That's all I'll say on that. Anything you have? That's all I hope. I'm not complaining about it because I haven't got to use it much.
Yeah. just in when I picked it up from the airport, I had a couple questions since you'd been on it, and that was one of the comments that I made is, with that everything being digital and being on the dash there, if that thing doesn't work right, it's going to be major. It's not like the GT or the GTS where if it, your Apple CarPlay doesn't connect, then it's annoying, but it's music, it's navigation, whatever. If this thing doesn't work, you're losing, potentially your gauges and speedometer and all kinds of stuff, which is a major failure. So hopefully it works.
Yep. All right, there you go. So that's one of my little, not complaints, but hopes and things, concerns and things to watch out for. So we talked about, shark nose and batwing. Yeah, some of the stuff I already talked about, like the water cool. Yeah. We knew that was coming. That's inevitable. I do wish that Harley, it does come with a cable clutch. They switched back to cable clutch in 2021. You guys have listened to past podcasts. I'm a motorcycle instructor, full-time officer. I ride bikes. I rode Adventure Street. By far, I prefer hydraulic. I wish they would have stuck with the hydraulic system. In fact, I just got a new 2023 Electroglide police bike for day-to-day operations, and we got 2 of them. We actually, before they even sent them to us, we had the dealership, switch them over to hydraulic. They're no maintenance. You don't have to adjust anything. They're consistent. Any hydraulic clutch, I can jump on a bike and they're all the same. And they're consistent throughout the life of the clutch. And again, no external, no internal adjustments. They just frickin' work. Done with that. So I wish they would go back. I can ride courses with cable just as easy as I can clutch, by the way.
Hydraulic.
You should be able to do, if you can only do cable or only hydraulic, then you need to train more because it's all the same. It's all friction zone and the typical skills to get through a course. I've run both of them. So don't give me that, any of you that want to argue with that. I know that it comes to personal preference, but if you've experienced both of them as much as I have, I think you would realize why I like hydraulic. So that's one of my complaints on the bikes. I wish they'd do that. But just know, it's good information. If you get a bike and you are a hydraulic guys, you can do the OEM kit and have your dealership up on purchase, change it over or you can do it yourself, change it over to hydraulic.
I was thinking as you're talking about this, because I know that you were going to say that, I wonder on these bikes if you're going to be able to do that, because there may not be any kit available.
Well, probably not on the CVO yet.
OEM, yes. Yeah.
There will be.
Yeah. I wonder if they will make one at all, because right now if
not, AIM will.
Right, exactly. You may have to go aftermarket.
And we sell AIM stuff, guys, the Light Force Slave clutch cylinder. Mm-hmm. And do we sell the hydraulic kit?
Not yet.
Changeover. We're going to add that to the store.
It's on the list of many things to do.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So if they don't, when they come out with one for this bike, we'll get it in the store. So you'll have options. But I do wish that suspension was controlled electronically. So like the Pan America, this suspension is great and it's upgraded, but I wish that you could get in this beautiful infotainment system, just like the Pan's ability to adjust the suspension and make changes, and within your ride modes, change the suspension. You can't. They didn't add it. So that would be my one thing that I hope Harley looks at in the future. I also really wish that they would have put adaptive ride height in it. They've got the technology in the Pan America, and if you guys don't know what AHR is, it's basically when you stop on the Pan America, watch my Pan America videos, but literally you don't even know what's happening, but it lowers up to 2 inches. And so a guy 5'8" on an adventure bike, I can sit flat-footed. I know a lot of shorter riders struggle on the touring bikes. They try to get lower seats. They chop their suspension in the back, and they don't have as much travel because they're trying to make the bike lower. I wish Harley would just get that over in the touring lineup. What a great addition that would be, and it would solve a lot of problems for a lot of shorter riders. And then when you take off, it automatically raises 1 up to 2 inches. So I wish they'd bring AHR and electronic controlled suspension. I think you'll see it in the future. Again, with that said, these bikes are already $43,000, these prices. And I know that Harley looks at that. Like if they put AHR and electronically controlled suspension, now what are we looking at? A $49,000 bike. So there is reasons, and we have to be realistic about this on why Harley doesn't put some things, although they could definitely do it. They probably look at like these bikes are already they're trying to meet what they think the market is an acceptable price point for a CVO. And the more you add stuff, the more the price is going to go up. So the last question, Lurch has mentioned it a couple times, Lurch. So what we're looking at, I always ask the questions, and sometimes I know I'm not going to get the answer, but I promised that I would ask the Harley rep in my video when I went down. All this brand new technology and this entire redesign, how many of this stuff, and is it going to bleed over into the 2024 touring models such as the specials, which is where they would first go? I asked that to the rep, and it was a very quick answer, and he smiled. We've got to know these reps really close, and they know we're going to ask the tough questions, and we know a lot of stuff they're not going to answer. They have to be careful. They're on NDAs too about what they can release. His answer was, I cannot comment on that. Thank you. I told my audience would ask, and I wanted to be honest and ask, and I did ask. So here's what me and Lurch, I think, say is, and we've talked about this off mic, you got to understand Harley-Davidson spent millions and millions of dollars to, over several years, to completely redevelop the Harley-Davidson. They have made all new components. They've tooled in their factories for whatever. They've retooled for parts. There is no way in hell that Harley-Davidson is going to spend millions and millions and millions and completely redesign their bike to just leave it on very few CVOs, because there is a limited number of CVOs. They are going to capitalize the shit out of this. And I guarantee, this is just my opinion, I have no information, I guarantee, just based on common sense and the way businesses work, that this was the first introduction to get it in the public's eyes, to get everybody excited. This is the thing I don't know. You can guess, Lurch. I don't know whether it's going to be on the 24 bikes because it's so soon, and they were working so hard to get these CVOs out on time. I don't know if it's going to make 24 because those are already probably in production. And I don't know that they could retool or get, does that make sense? I don't know if the timeline works for that.
It might be 25.
It might be 25. So,
and it's actually a pretty good way to go about it too, because it's such a massive change. And you said it just a second ago, it gets people used to seeing this new look of the bike. But in addition to that, it gives them a smaller field of bikes out there to be put into the real world and get some miles on and find out if there's any issues with them and handle it through recalls before they do a massive release of just the whole new line to all the touring models. Does that make sense? They've got it's a smaller market and fewer bikes to deal with.
Right.
And so if there is issues.
So you're just hoping?
If there is issues, they're going to be able to take care of them with a smaller amount of riders, right? They won't. I mean, if there's a major issue and they released all those bikes at the same time, like let's say
24.
Let's say 24,
right.
24, or not even. No, I'm saying this. They released it just in the CVOs, right?
Yes.
But imagine they didn't do just the CVOs. Imagine it was the whole fleet of touring bikes,
right? And
they just made this massive change.
Like right now, they're making them right.
Yeah, all of them. Now you've got a whole new fleet of bikes out there that could potentially, have recalls.
Right.
But now they've got this smaller group that they're going to be able to work out the bugs, if you will. And so it's an interesting way.
Brand new motor, yeah.
You drip it out, get people used to it. You work out any bugs if there are any, and then you move on to the full fleet.
Yep. So you think 25?
I think 25.
Okay.
25.
There you go. You heard it from Lurch.
24, 25.
I'm excited, and I want to say 24 just because it's what I want, but I almost want to just say, it makes sense.
They might be able to. They get these ones out. If they're working on them,
just the specials,
and maybe
they'll keep the older and then have just the special models with the new fairings. I don't know. There's so many ways they could tackle that. Yeah,
or you could have this all digital in the specials, but then maybe have analog stuff potentially in the regular.
Yeah,
I don't know. It'll be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, how much?
It's definitely coming.
And if it does bleed over, how much will bleed over? Yeah,
exactly.
It's crazy. It's all coming.
Yeah.
Within a couple of years, this is how all new touring models will look and function.
I agree.
In my opinion.
Mine too. It just doesn't make sense not to.
So and Lurch.
They do like to hold some stuff for just the CVO models. They like to hold some stuff just for the specials. So you may see a degree of some of this on the different bikes.
Right.
But I think that it's the majority of it's coming, especially for the specials.
Yep. Agree. So maybe 25. Me and Lurch, have both been holding out. He's got a 15 Road Glide. I've got a 14 Street Glide Special. His is a special. It's paid. I absolutely love the thing. It's a 103 twin cam, one of the best motors in my opinion. I love it. High output 103. They're runners. We love them. I love touring on it. The Milwaukee-Eight wasn't a big enough deal for me to upgrade to. I get a Milwaukee-Eight on my police bike that I ride daily when I'm working. So it just was never that big a deal to me. This, I was waiting for another Rushmore bike.
Yeah, me too.
Rushmore, we both were. I don't want a CVO. I'm not a fan of CVOs. And I know a lot of you are, and that's cool. I want all the extra functions of the CVO that just came out, but I want to put on my own intake and my exhaust.
You want to customize it.
I want to put my own grips.
Yeah.
I want to customize it and put the parts on that I want, not all Harley stuff. There's way better aftermarket stuff in a lot of aspects. So I want to build the bike kind of to make it mine. I don't want Harley doing that for me, but a lot of you do. And I'll pay way less than $43,000 if I buy a regular special and then add my own parts because I'm getting them aftermarket. So anyways, me and Lurch are both, if this comes out on the specials in 14 or 24, again, I think it's going to be 25. So we may be waiting another year, which is fine because I love my bike. But if they put this stuff out on special models, I think it's going to be really hard for me not to finally buy a new bike and get this new, whatever. They didn't have a name for it. Yeah.
You'd be a new Street Glide Special.
Here
is what you're probably going to get, right?
Yeah, I would get a Street Glide Special.
Yeah.
Brand new. With all these new additions. Interesting, a little behind the scenes. They're pretty secretive about all this stuff. The Harley reps, when they're doing stuff, I can't tell you, but it slipped. And that's a code name for the new CVOs.
Okay.
So they don't refer anything. So like when they were building the 2023 CVOs, it took them years. It had a code name, and that's all. They never say 2023 CVO because it can never get out that way.
Gotcha.
They have nicknames, and he told me a bunch.
Oh, that's funny.
That slipped. He goes, well, I can tell you just, it's off the record, you know, but, so yeah, it was funny. A lot of different code names for different projects and bikes they're doing, so it doesn't get leaked. So they're pretty good about that. So anyways, long episode.
I figured it would be.
God,
it's a big change.
I was hoping it wouldn't go this long, but whatever.
That's all right.
We got another one to do. We got another podcast to record right after this. And for all you patron members, after tomorrow, this will be uploaded because I'm on an NDA, so we can't tell the YouTube video pops. We will upload this episode and the next episode, bam, immediately within the next couple days, right into the back end of your patron account, so you can listen. If you're not a patron member, you're going to get this in, well, most our podcasts you'll get months later because they're not time sensitive. It's going to take several months for you to hear them. This CVO one's time sensitive, so it's probably going to come out next.
It'll come out 2 from now because we're in part 1 of our
gotcha.
Death Valley trip, so part 2 will come out, and then this one will come out.
There you go. But you'll get it at least weeks then.
Yeah.
Instead of months, you'll get it weeks before the regular listening audience. So well, there you go, guys. Don't forget, it's been a long time. If you're not on our email list in the email club, you really, really need to get into it because it's hard sometimes to see everything we're putting out on the different social platforms. But like when we drop a brand new video on YouTube, like the CVO or the Pan America that I just did at Touratech, we're given emails, and it's in the email club. We send you, it doesn't cost anything. It's completely free. It's nothing but literally like we not inundate you, but with free shit, like free videos, free help, free this. It's a lot of great information. And of course, when we drop new videos, you're going to get it right away, and you're going to, they came out. Oh, I'm interested in that. And it click through link to watch the YouTube video. Again, really, we're just trying to help as many bikers as we can worldwide. That's what we use the email list for. Yes, of course, we also send some emails on maybe if we come out with a new product, like Wilbur suspension in the store and things like that. But by far, 95% of it is nothing but, hey, here's more free helpful shit for you. Here's another free video. Here's this, that. So yeah, get signed up. lawabidingbiker.com/email club. That's lawabidingbiker.com/email club. All one word, no dashes. It's that simple. Takes you 2 seconds. You'll be on the email list, and you can better be part of the community, and we call it the email club, guys. And so that's it's a pretty large list, and we appreciate you guys getting signed up. Doesn't cost you a dime, and we just want to get information your way. So there you go.
Yeah, there's currently 16,787 people signed up.
Nicely. Very good, guys. So yeah, that's the biggest it's ever been.
Yeah,
actually,
growing.
Yeah, I haven't looked at that for a long time. So yeah, guys, get signed up, and yeah, I hope you're well. Don't forget the Lab Podcast hotline phone number if you want to leave a comment, you want to get played maybe on the air. 509-731-3548. That's 509-731-3548. Or lawabidingbiker.com/contact. You can leave an email. You may make the podcast, or you may just need help or want to talk to us. But and also over at lawabidingbiker.com/contact, the same page, you can leave a voicemail right from your computer, built-in microphone for free from anywhere in the world. Same thing with your phone, built-in microphone for free. lawabidingbiker.com/contact, and leave us a voicemail. Something funny, a comment on a podcast, a video, information, help you need, anything. We love to hear your voices, and we love the voicemail feedback. Thanks so much. We is out of here.